Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Coach Kenny Smith Show. It's brought to you this week by John Walter Chevrolet. We'll talk to Coach Smith about North Little Rock. They're coming to town for another home game in a few minutes, but let's look back a few days to Little Rock Parkview. Big win, Coach, and a game that you've got a chance to play a lot of different players. Let's talk about your seniors and your starters at first because they played great.
Yeah, you know, we accomplished everything that we wanted to accomplish down there. It's a road win, which we'd been not had till there, and the way we approached our practices through the week was in a business-like manner, and the fact that we had a task, we had an assignment that we had to carry out, and we wanted to get started at 7:30. We didn't want to wait around to 7:45, and our guys did that. I was very proud of them. They gave us a great effort, and with 6 minutes and something left in the third quarter, we were able to play our younger kids, and that's always good. That doesn't do anything but help your program. And when it's 36-0 and you're it doesn't do Parkview's kids any good. I have more respect for their coaching staff and for their kids just to keep hammering with your first guys. So it was a good trip for us, and it was a learning experience for us again. And it's just another assignment, another task that we completed, and we're looking forward to hopefully completing the rest of them in the same fashion.
Is it tough to keep the team motivated when you get into a game as such as that? I know with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter, you're able to take a lot of your starters out, but even before that, it felt like the game was getting away. Is it hard to keep their minds in it?
Well, it can be, but when you've got 23 seniors, it's not that difficult because they, like we've talked about all year long, they've done an outstanding job of leading by example. They've helped the younger kids along and let them know, how a Wampus cat acts on Friday and how a Wampus cat represents himself on Friday nights. And those are all learning processes, and if you're going to have your program on a firm foundation, which we think we do here, the senior leadership is a big thing for our younger kids.
Let's talk about the offensive line. They really seem like, from someone who's certainly not an expert, but just watching the team play these first 5 games, they really seem like they've improved a lot.
They've gelled. They really have, and I attribute that really to Zach Little and Chase Conk. Against Parkview the other evening, we had 2 seniors playing the offensive line. The rest of them are underclassmen and juniors, and Stephen Moore came in at tight end, a sophomore, and made a big catch and did an excellent job blocking and had a strong contribution for us there. But those 2 seniors up there in that offensive line have just they've made a world of difference. They are a close-knit group of guys. They enjoy their practice sessions, and they've just done a fantastic job. Chase and Zach really have been very consistent all year long, and they're bringing the younger kids along at a good pace, and they're really businesslike, and I like that. And obviously with our production that we've had, it shows.
Blake Reagan had a great game, and it wasn't punting like we've seen him do so much as it was kicking off. He was putting the ball through the end zone consistently, and that can only help.
I think he was 6 out of 8. Wow. I think it was 6 out of 8, and of course Blake has got a strong leg, obviously, and it's just a two-headed monster when you can kick it off the ground or you can punt it either. And Blake's a good athlete, and probably even maybe in our North Little Rock game, he's going to get some playing time at a position, and he's a good athlete, and he's going to help us in a lot of areas.
Let's come back and talk about what it must be like to now be the hunted as opposed to the hunter, because you guys are definitely one of the most hunted teams now in the state. We talked about it in the broadcast. It's a good football team, and I think everybody knows it. We'll talk about that next, as well as the North Little Rock game. That's coming up next on the Kenny Smith Show. It's brought to you by John Walter Chevrolet.
Hi, Steve Sullivan for John Walter Chevrolet. We take pride in community involvement here at Conway, so John Walters is helping sponsor the Terry Don West Bull Riding Challenge on October 20th at 8 o'clock right here at the Don Owen Arena. This is your chance to meet bull riding great Terry Don West and watch local talent perform. And don't forget about the great deals going on now on Chevy trucks at John Walters Chevrolet, Highway 64 East in Conway. Hey, these seats are empty now, but on October 20th they'll be full of rodeo fans. Why don't you be one of them?
Welcome back to the Coach Kenny Smith Show. I'm Jeff Matthews, joined by Coach Kenny Smith. It's brought to you by John Walter Chevrolet this week. And, Coach, before we talk about North Little Rock, let's talk about what it must be like to be the team that people are starting to pay attention to. 2 losses, 2 tough road non-conference losses, but now once conference season has begun, your team's playing as well as anybody, and I think everyone's going to start taking notice of that if they haven't already.
And that's what you really point for. The first 3 games are what we call our preseason. They're preseason or exhibition games. Obviously, if you want to go undefeated, you've got to win all of those. But, our number one one goal is to go through, our preseason undefeated. Our second team goal is to win our conference championship, and of course that starts in week 4. And then our third team goal is to be a state champion. And in order to be a state champion, you've got to take care of your conference business. And so the ultimate goal that we have in front of us right now is to win a conference championship. And each week it's bigger. Each week, we have to sell our kids on the fact that you can't look at records. You've got to take care of yourself and take care of your own team. We worry about our own team more than we worry about our opponent in a lot of situations. And we want to win a conference championship. That would be a feather in these kids' cap. In the last 10 years, we've been a part of 4 of them, and that's I'm proud of those kids that were Wampus cats and got us a share 4 times, but we've never won one by ourselves. And I think these kids really want to do that, and it would be, I don't think Conway has won a conference championship by itself since we've been putting the largest classification in the state. So it really would be a feather in their cap to be able to do that, and they seem to have a strong desire to want to pull that off.
And to do that, it means a victory over North Little Rock. They're up next. We'll play them tonight, as it is at John McConnell Stadium. What can we look forward to in the North Little Rock Charging Wildcats?
Scary. They're very scary. I mean, they're 5-0. They're 0-5, and they've been beaten soundly one time, and that's by Pine Bluff, who is undefeated. Yeah. They lost a 2-point game to Fayetteville. They lost a overtime game to McClellan. They've lost to Camden Fairview by less than a touchdown. They've lost. They could be 4-1 very easily. If you watch the tapes, very, very easily they could be a 4-1 ball club. So they have really in the 10 years that I've been the head coach here, they have been the hardest team for us to beat. We've never beaten them soundly. Now, we've won some big victories from them, and usually it's meant a conference championship or because it's been later in the year, but it's always a big game when we play North Little Rock, and our kids are going to have to be mentally focused and physically into the game. They're always very, very physical football team. They're explosive. They can score. They've got really good athletes, and they're one of those teams that I know that you've seen that when you think something's going bad, they break it for a long one on you. They turn fumbles into touchdowns. They turn interceptions into touchdowns. They'll return a kick on you because they're very athletic, and it'll be a stern test for us. It really will. It's going to test us physically, and it's really going to be a mental test for us.
I want to ask you about something that we've talked about on our broadcast a couple of times. How's Kyle Hillis doing watching his brother?
Kyle's doing well. Kyle's doing well. He's understands his situation. He's comfortable with it, and the fact that he's not 100%, and there's nothing more than Kyle would rather do than be out there and doing the things that Kyle's capable of doing, and Kyle would love to be doing that. He's a hard-nosed, rugged football player, but in this case scenario, I think it's the best case scenario in the fact that his little brother is doing the things that he's accustomed to doing, right. And so therefore I think it makes that a little bit easier on Kyle in the fact knowing that baby brother's out there turning some heads and really he's offensively, Colt was giving us a little spark there, and Peyton started a forest fire with us. He's got us all going. Everyone is going great guns right now, and Peyton really was the fire that we needed with his enthusiasm, his rugged play. It's made things so much better for John. John is, in my opinion, if not the best, in the top 5 best back in the state. And anybody that wants to argue that point, I'll do it forever. But it's made life easier for John because now we've got 2 threats back there that they better honor running the football or we can hurt them. And Dennis, last week against Parkview, he's 5 out of 6 throwing the football. And had we wanted to go in there and set some passing stats, we could have done it all night long, but Dennis, being the team player that he is, he plays his role, and he did the things that he needed to do in order to put us in a position to win, and that's what makes you feel great about our football team is the cohesiveness that we have, and that's going to lead to a lot of victories, I think.
Well, it's fun to watch. North Little Rock is tonight against the Conway Wampus Cats at John McConnell Stadium. The kickoff just a few minutes away. I'm Jeff Matthews for Coach Kenny Smith, brought to you by John Walter Chevrolet. The kickoff's next on Conway Corporation, Channel 81.
Here at John Walter Chevrolet in Conway, we have your new Tahoe. The Chevy Tahoe fits any busy lifestyle. Available third row seat that allows for 9 passengers, or maybe you need the extra room for cargo. Whatever you're hauling, the 2002 Tahoe can handle the job. From city street to backwoods adventure, the Chevy Tahoe will provide the highest level of comfort and Chevy dependability. So come to Walters Chevrolet exit 127 in Conway and drive home in your new Tahoe today.
Hi everyone and welcome to Wampus Cat football tonight. Conway takes on North Little Rock. The Charging Wildcats come to town. Wampus Cat football is brought to you by Regions Bank, by John Walters Chevrolet, by First Community Bank, by Smith Ford Incorporated, by Emboden Carpets, by United Motor Company, Duncan Outdoors, Conway Corporation, Jody Brown Motors, Dreyer's Shoes, by Superior Nissan, and by the Medicine Shop. Stick around, the national anthem is just moments away from John McConnell Stadium on Conway Corporation.
For years, you've known Regions as one of the strongest banks in America. But now, teamed with Morgan Keegan, one of the largest and most trusted investment firms in the South, we're more powerful than just a bank. With more financial power to create the wealth you'll need for your future. More power to keep your options open, no matter where you're headed or how far you're going. Regions and Morgan Keegan, more than a bank, a new financial powerhouse.
Wampus Cat Marching Band with tonight's national anthem. We'll have the coin toss next. Everyone, and welcome back to John McConnell Stadium. It's Jeff Matthews along with Jim Files. Tonight, the Wampus Cats come back home to take on the North Little Rock Charging Wildcats. It's the third conference game for both of these teams. Two teams come in completely different situations. Conway comes in overall 3-2, which doesn't sound all that great. 2-0 in the conference, but it's no denying the fact that this is one of the better teams in the state right now. North Little Rock comes in 0-2 in conference play, 0-5 overall, but they have lost those games, with the exception of one of the 5 losses. The other 4 have just been by a few points each time they've been in each of these games. Jim, looking at tonight's game, you would seem to think, at the start of the game anyway, that these two teams do match up pretty well.
They should, yes, Jeff. This is a North Little Rock team that went to the playoffs last year. They finished 6-5. Have some real good talent at running back and return quite a few starters, but major question at quarterback for them.
Yeah, they graduated their starter last year that threw for over 1,200 yards, and they've got a starting quarterback now, William LaFear, who will be seen lead this Charging Wildcat offense. You see the coin toss going on. Looks like North Little Rock actually won the toss and deferred. Conway will be getting the football to begin the game. As you see, our captains, so John Gray and Cannon Chandler out there for the Conway Wampus Cats, the captains, and there's the Charging Wildcats going off the field. The starting lineup for the Wampus Cats: on offense, center Jason Fowler, 5'9", 278, a junior. At guard, number 63, Chase Conk, 5'11", 230, a senior. Also at guard, number 70, Drew Bell, 5'11", 195, Drew's a junior. At tackle, number 73, Carter Rook. He's done a great job last couple of games. 6'4", 270, a junior. Also at tackle, number 79, Zach Little. 6'2", 235, Zach's a senior. At tight end, sophomore, Stephen Moore, number 25. Stephen, 6 foot, 185. At wide receiver, number 15, Chad Stewart, 5'8", 135. Chad's a senior. At wingback, number 31, the scary Scott Coulter does a great job there, 5'9", 160, a junior. At fullback, number 22, Peyton Hillis, 6'2", 220, a sophomore. At halfback, number 23, John Duhart, 5'9", 160, a senior. And at quarterback, number 1, Dennis Jones. Dennis is 5'11", 165, he's a senior. For the defense, at nose guard, number 77, Dwayne Tyus, 5'11", 320, a senior. At defensive tackle, number 50, Cannon Chandler, 6'2", 230, a senior. At defensive tackle, number 67, Quentin Maxfield, 5'11", 225, a junior. Starting at defensive end, number 45, Bobby Kelly, 6 foot, 175, a junior. Also at defensive end, Big John Gray, number 80, 6'4", 210, a senior. At linebacker, Joe Morgan, 5'10", 190, Joe's a senior. Also at linebacker, number 13, Seth Irons, 5'10", 155, a sophomore. At quarterback, number 34, Chris Watley, 5'9", 170, a senior. Also at quarterback, number 4, Blake Edwards, 6 foot, 165, a junior. And your starting safeties, number 2, Jason Deere, 6'1", 152, a senior. And number 32, Shay Jones, 6 foot, 155. Shay's a junior. On special teams for the Wampus Cats, number 3, Lance Wilcox, 6 foot, 150, a senior. And the punter and doing the place kicking, number 38, Blake Reagan. Blake's 5'10", 165, a junior. And 2 guys close to my heart, the managers for the Wampus Cats, Marcus McClellan, a senior, and John Chanel, a sophomore, do a great job for the whole Wampus Cat program. Tonight, the Wampus Cats come in 3-2, 2-0 in conference play. They take on the Charging Wildcats. The Wildcats 0-2 in the conference, 0-5 in conference play. Kickoff is just a few seconds away on Conway Corporation, Channel 81.
Your home is a special place. You work hard to give it those special touches that make it your own, and your floor covering should be just as special. Since 1954, 3 generations of the Imboden family have been providing Conway with the very finest in floor coverings. With brands from Mohawk, Anderson, Pergo, and many more, Imboden Carpets has just the floor covering to give your home that special look and feel. Come by our showroom today or give us a call. Let Imboden Carpets take your floors from the ordinary to the extraordinary.
And welcome back to John McConnell Stadium. The Wampus Cats taking on the Charging Wildcats. Kind of a cat fight here tonight, if you will, Jim. Probably a very weak comment, but it's good to get that out of the way.
No, it's a good way to put it.
Thank you very much. Charging Wildcats from North Little Rock coming to town to take on your very, very hot Conway Wampus Cats right now. 3-2 again overall. The 2 losses on the road a week ago. A very strong performance against an outmanned Little Rock Parkview team, and they got their first victory on the road. Now we're back home.
Right, and North Little Rock really needs a win, and this is not the best game in the world for them to try to get it in. Playing a Conway team that I've been dancing around saying it, but I think they're the best team in the state right now, the way they're playing.
Well, we've had a chance to see both Cabot and Little Rock Central, which were ranked 1 and 2 respectively when we played them, and both teams left John McConnell Stadium with losses. So Wampus Cats have done a lot to prove that they're one of the top teams in the state. And here's the opening kickoff, returned all the way down to the 50, all the way back to midfield by John Duhart. A great job by the senior, getting us started early. And we've talked about it, Jim. Finally, you see this team starting off quickly. First play of the game here, 10 seconds into the game, and Duhart has us all the way across midfield.
Everything is working for Conway right now. The offense, the defense, the special teams, just looking awesome.
Call it 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line, just across midfield. That's Dennis Jones, your quarterback. It's Peyton Hillis. Hillis fights his way forward, a gain of about 3. And a sight we've got used to seeing. It takes 5 or 6 of the opposing players to bring him down. No surprise there that there was any difference. 2nd and about 6. Second down, and they're going to call it 7, so give him a gain of 3 on the play. Peyton has done a great job since he came in as the fullback, replacing his brother Kyle a few games back against Little Rock Central, and he has been outstanding. And he's made the other players in the backfield better, and they were pretty good to begin with. That's Duhart, left side across the 45 and tackled at the 45-yard line. Nice tackle made by number 3, Terrell Handy, for North Little Rock. It's third down now for your Wampus Cats. Again, that offensive line, we've had their starting lineup a second ago, but let's go over them again. Jason Fowler is the center. Your guards are Chase Conk and Drew Bell, and Carter Rook and Zach Little, the very, very talented tackles for the Wampus Cats offensive line. Carter, number 73, and Zach Little, number 79. Third and long for the Wampus Cats. Dennis Jones back to pass, rolls right. Looks and throws. The pass is incomplete. In and out of the hands of Chad Stewart. Chad, the intended receiver, fourth down.
Jeff, you said earlier about Peyton coming in and being a spark, and I think that was basically, if you wanted to point at something, turning the season around, that was probably it. There's a lot of things that have gotten better as well. Dennis Jones, we've seen him play a lot better.
Dennis has improved a tremendous amount since the start of the season. He battled with Blake Edwards during the offseason to even get that starting job, and
that's right. Obviously
proven that he was the right man for the job. Blake Reagan to punt and gets a foot into it. Bounces at the 15-yard line and will be downed at the 13, where North Little Rock will take over first and 10. 10:18 to play in the first quarter. There's no score. It's Conway Corporation, Channel 81.
United Motor Company's new dealership has many customer-friendly conveniences, like a covered service drive, a comfortable customer's lounge, and a place for the kids to play. Even more impressive than the facilities is the 5-star reputation. That's something you can't buy, but earn through thousands of satisfied customers. Visit United Motor Company for one of the largest selections of cars, trucks, and vans in the area. United Motor Company, I-40 exit 129 in Conway.
10:18 to play, and the Wampus Cat defense makes their first appearance on the field. 3 and out for the offense. Now North Little Rock takes over. That's William LaFear, the quarterback. Pass is incomplete. Intended for number 7, Patrick Dorse. Seth Irons and Blake Edwards on the coverage. It'll be second down and 10. LaFear kind of one-hopped his receiver there. Second down, 10 yards to go. And I guess we need to go ahead and address this early with Seth Irons. We understand that he thought we were almost bad-mouthing him a week ago. And gosh, that couldn't be further from the truth. We like Seth Irons. Seth, if you're watching the replay of this game, we like you. Hand off and a big run past Seth and just about everybody else. Actually, Seth got the tackle.
Way to go, Seth.
Attaboy, Seth. Very talented sophomore, but nice run by number 47. That's LaRon Young.
Seth fighting off a block there. Great job, Seth.
Big tackle down at the 34-yard line after a long run by LaRon Young. First and 10, but Seth made a good tackle, and could have been a lot worse if it weren't for good old Seth.
That's right.
First and 10. LaFear back to pass. Oh, and it could have been picked off by any one of 3 Wampus Cats, it looked like, but pass intended for Young, incomplete. Second down and 10.
Looked like a bad decision there.
LaFear, the left-handed quarterback, 5'11", 162, just a sophomore, starting at quarterback for a 5A football team.
I'm sure on one hand it's good to have a young, talented quarterback in there, but ideally you would want someone with some more experience on this level of play.
Second down and 10. Just underway, there's no score. That's LaRon Young, and it looks like one of the two of them ran the wrong play and nowhere to go there. Nice tackle made by number 45. Bobby Kelly is in on the tackle. Looks like Cannon Chandler also comes off the pile. Third down and long. Call it third and 13 on the loss of 3 on the play.
You can't hesitate on that Conway defensive line. If all they need is a little bit of time to get in the backfield, and you saw the mix-up there with quarterback and running back, and the Conway defensive line was on top of them.
LaFear sets up in the shotgun formation. Ball's at the 31-yard line, third down. LaFear back to pass. He guns it. Good arm on the kid. Pass is knocked away almost into the arms of the intended receiver, but it was tipped away. Couldn't see who got a hand on it. See if we can tell on the replay. Well, hard to tell, but one of the defensive players back there. I bet it was Seth Irons.
We'll just say it was Seth Irons, yes.
Every good play tonight. Actually, it was Shea Jones. You can tell now that you see Shea's got the long sleeves on underneath his jersey, and there was a white sleeve that knocked it away. So we'll give credit where credit was due.
Good job, Shea.
Shea Jones on the deflection. 4th down, and the Wampus Cats will get the football back. Nice job defensively. LaRon Young had one good long run there, but wasn't enough to keep the drive alive. And the punt is a good punt. Jason Deere back to field it over his head down to the 10, and it rolls out of bounds at about the 3.5. They'll put it at the 4-yard line. Conway gets the ball. They got a long way to go travel-wise in the yards.
Winch with select Yamaha ATVs during Yamaha All-Terrain Value Days.
To run there up to about the 5, maybe 2nd down and 9. See the first quarter clock running in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, 8:35, and it continues to run. Craig Connor brings in the next play for the Wampus Cats. Jim, as you mentioned, this North Little Rock team is a lot younger than it was a year ago. Last year finished 3rd in the conference with a 6-5 record overall and made the playoffs. They struggle in the playoffs, though. Hand off to Peyton Hillis. Peyton's across the 10 down to about the 11-yard line, and it'll be 3rd down.
This defense returns 10 starters this year, so lots of experience there. You would expect a good defense and stop Conway the first drive.
And they've got him 3rd down here, so.
And few teams have have stopped this Conway offense in the last couple of games, or even come close.
Number 15, Chad Stewart with the next play, and the Wampus Cats will come to the line of scrimmage, 3rd down. It's a little bit cooler tonight. It's officially fall, and it feels like it tonight at John McConnell Stadium. You see Dennis blowing in his hands there a bit to warm him up. Hand off to Duhart. He's across the 20. Good for a 1st down. Big run by the senior. We've expected it all year long, and he has not disappointed. 1st and 10, Wampus Cats. Jim, nice job there by the right side of that offensive line.
You're right, and like I've been saying, it starts up front. Those guys have just really come together, and they're the ones opening the holes up for Duhart and Hillis to get the yards that they've been getting. And they deserve a lot of credit.
1st and 10, 7 minutes to go. 1st quarter, there is no score. That's Scott Coulter, left side. Thrown down, well out of bounds, and there will be a flag play, and there should have been.
Should have been, definitely. I don't know what he was thinking.
The defensive player had ridden Scott out of bounds. He was 5 or 10 yards on the sideline when he was picked up and thrown down.
Almost on the track.
Tony Wilkins, the charging Wildcat, responsible. And the 15 yards on the personal foul will give the Wampus Cats some great field position. Here's the call.
And something you can't do against Conway. You can't make mistakes like that. We saw a lot of fumbles last week against Conway, and now, with the penalties, that's just as bad.
Would have been 2nd down and 5, instead 1st and 10. That's Hillis. Hillis fights his way over the right side across midfield. Hillis across the 40, to the 30, to the 20. Peyton Hillis, touchdown.
Man. Just shedding tackles. Look at the strength and power here. Stiff arming people, running over them, by them, through them. Way to go, Peyton.
Peyton Hillis, 58-yard touchdown run. Great run by Peyton Hillis. And you can see the mistake led directly to the touchdown run and gave them a chance with much better field position, 15 yards closer. And Peyton was able to find some room again. Nice job on the offensive line. Fowler, Conk, Bell, Rooks, Little, all making room. Don't forget Stephen Moore also starting to tight end in this game. Great run by Peyton Hillis, 6-0 with the extra point attempt coming from Lance Wilcox. And the homestanding fans are excited about this. Last time we were at home, it was against Little Rock Central. Of course, the big victory that night against Central when John Duhart scored 6 touchdowns. And tonight it's North Little Rock, and the charging Wildcats find themselves down to the Wampus Cats by 6. Lance Wilcox with the extra point. High snap, but a good place and a good kick. 7-0. Conway leads North Little Rock. It's Conway Corporation, Channel 81.
Here we are at Smith Ford Mercury in Conway, the oldest Ford dealer west of the Mississippi. They'll treat you like family, and they're big supporters of all the Faulkner County football programs, including the Bears and the Wampus Cats. The 2001s are here at great prices, like this new 2001 Taurus at deep discounts. The 2002s are rolling in. The financing has never been better. Smith Ford Mercury in Conway with a complete line of Mercurys and Fords. All the SUVs and vans and trucks are here at Smith Ford Mercury in Conway.
7-0 is our score. Conway leads North Little Rock. Peyton Hillis, a 58-yard touchdown run.
That's something you would expect to see from Duhart, but Hillis busting a long run. Some pretty poor tackling there, too. Everybody was trying to tackle him high. And you just can't do that with any Hillis.
There's not a Hillis you can hit high. 6'2", 220 is Peyton, the sophomore. Showed every bit of that talent there. The kickoff, there's a line drive kick, but a whistle before the ball really even got into the air. So we're going to penalize the Wampus Cats and push them back, and Blake Reagan will will kick once again, this time lining up, I believe, on the 35-yard line instead of the 40.
Blake Reagan will be in kicking position for Conway, and he's the North Little Rock will be Laron Young.
And there's the kick from Blake. LaRon Young takes it across the 20 to the 25, and a good open field tackle. Who got it? No surprise there. Kenan Chandler, the senior who has played great all season long, brings LaRon Young to the ground. It's 1st and 10 Wildcats, charging Wildcats. All these W's and these cats are beginning to tie my tongue a bit. 1st and 10 for North Little Rock. I think I could probably say that without fail. William LaFear brings his team back to the line of scrimmage. They've had the ball twice and have shown a little bit as far as the spark goes, but nothing definite yet. 7-0. Conway leads. LaFear looks and throws left. Passes complete. And stumbling backwards, number 11, Marcus Foley.
And a good balance by Foley over there, but you just, like I was saying earlier, you cannot hesitate against this Conway defense. They're so aggressive and so they pursue to the ball so well that if you hesitate, you're going to be tackled.
Bobby Kelly, who started his first game tonight of this season, I believe, for the Wampus Cats, made a good tackle after a couple of others slid off of Marcus Foley. And Bobby Kelly got the stop, 2nd down. Looks like the game was about 3. And there's some movement on the left side of the line of scrimmage. And the charging Wildcat, who was responsible for it, disciplined himself there with a couple of hands to the face mask of his own face mask, and will back the charging Wildcats up. It'll be 2nd down and 13. 6 minutes to play. The clock runs here in the first quarter. Against 7-0, Conway has the advantage. Conway looks to move to 4-2 overall and 3-0 in conference play with a victory tonight. The charging Wildcats looking for their first win of the season. LaFear back to pass, and he rolls to his right. Well, he'll keep it, and he'll be hit.
Wow.
Big hit. John Gray is there, and also number 50, Kenan Chandler.
That was Kenan Chandler. Great job by Kenan.
Those are two guys you do not want to meet in the open field out there.
No.
3rd down and long, loss of 4. So a good position here for the Wildcats, for the Wampus Cats. Charging Wildcat offense has got a long way to go, and the passing game has not been successful to this point. You'd assume that they'll try to go up top here. Ball set up on the right hash mark. Two backs in an I formation set up behind LaFear. And that's why I guess I call the games I don't coach. There's a handoff to the first back through and a loss of a yard. So 4th down, the Wampus Cats will take over after the punt. Nice job by that Wampus Cat defense. We have seen them be successful on so many different fronts this year, and no surprise on that drive. Jason Deere and Shea Jones back to receive the punt. Ross Lloyd will be doing the punting here for North Little Rock. And they're trying to count players. They may not have enough on the field. We still didn't find out if those are cheerleaders or pom-pom squads, did we?
No, we
got to make a note to find that out. Regardless, they're dressed warm tonight as well they should be. It's finally cooling off and feeling like football weather. After the quick timeout, you've got the proper players on the field for North Little Rock. Conway's got their special teams also on the field. Again, Shea Jones and Jason Deere deep to receive the punt. And Ross Lloyd to punt. High snap and a good punt. Jason Deere waves everybody away from it, and punt goes out of bounds inside the 35-yard line. Conway takes over. They lead by a touchdown. It's Conway Corporation, Channel 81.
It was the closest game I'd ever played in. They were losing by 1, had 2 outs, and a man on third. Then this happened. And yes, I've worn a belt ever since.
Not all lessons have to be learned the hard way. Get the most from your advertising budget. Advertise on Conway Corporation Cable. Call 450-6025.
4:07 to go. We are in the first quarter. Conway leads 7-0. The last time that Conway touched the ball offensively, Peyton Hillis went 58 yards. 1st and 10. Handoff to Coulter. Coulter on the left side. Nice little stutter step move there after a huge block by Peyton Hillis. Hillis just put number 44 on his back. Number 44 is Brian Bolds, who goes 5'10", 182. Not tiny, but he looked so much smaller than Peyton Hillis.
Most people do up against Peyton.
Ball at the 37-yard line. 2nd down now for Conway. As Craig Connor brings the next play on for the Wampus Cats. There's the reverse play that we've seen so many times. Handoff to Duhart, and he hands it off to Coulter. The ball squirts out, but it comes out of bounds, it looks like. Nice job by Coulter across the 40 down to the 42-yard line. Should be close to a first down. Or will be good for the first down. My apologies. It'll be 3rd down and 3. I misplaced the marker there. 3rd down and 3. The ball's at the 42-yard line. Conway comes into the game again, undefeated in conference play in first place. That's Peyton Hillis across the 45, up to the 46. It should be good for the first down now. 1st and 10 Wampus Cats.
And that's how you take Peyton down. The guy did a good job hitting him low at the legs. Maybe they learned their lesson last time, but I think we're going to still see Peyton run over people.
It's really interesting the way the 5A Central standings look right now. Conway is 2-0, North Little Rock is 0-2, and everybody else is 1-1. Handoff to Coulter, and there is nowhere to go. A big hit by a big man, number 99, Danny Jackson, 5'11", 280.
I believe that's 96.
96. Yeah. Well, 96 isn't listed. So let's pretend it was Danny Jackson.
Okay.
Nice stop, Danny. 2 minutes and 10 seconds to play. Yeah, whoever that player was, big hit.
And a big guy.
And a big guy. Jones rolls right. Will he keep it? Yeah, he will. Nice job. Lowers that shoulder, Jim. You love it when he does that.
And I love the decision making by him. No one's open, run the ball. That's a great job. Smart play.
We've really seen Dennis mature a lot in the 5 games thus far. This being game number 6 for the Wampus Cats, and we've seen him get smarter and smarter every game. And you alluded to it early in the contest today. This is a team that must be taken seriously as far as one of the upper echelon teams in the state, and they are a definite state championship contender. And I don't think we're out of line saying something like that at this point.
I don't think so at all.
3 wide outs to the left, and that's the direction that Dennis looks. Throws. Pass is complete to Coulter across the 30. Down to the 29. It's 1st and 10.
Peyton doing a great job blocking right here. You see big number 86 coming up there. He picked him up. That allowed that completion to take place.
As the passing game gets better, this team gets better because the running situation is as strong as anybody in the state. We've seen that. And when Jones can go back to pass and make smart decisions like he's done tonight and like we've seen him do, makes this team even more dangerous. That's Duhart right side. Cuts back to the middle across the 35. Still cutting to the 30. Excuse me, the 20. Regardless, it's a touchdown for John Duhart. So quick, he did 10 yards just like that.
Absolutely.
Great run by Duhart, a 29-yard touchdown run.
And Jeff, it's his vision. He can see the field so well. He knows when, and the quickness there too. He just cuts to the side, to the side, to the side, and then bam, he's gone.
That was a play that looked like it was designed to go to the right. And he scored in the left end of the end zone, left side of the end zone.
That's right.
Duhart, the senior, with a touchdown. 29 yards. Wilcox on to attempt the extra point. Good snap, good place, and a good kick. Wilcox kicking the ball well tonight. 14-0. Conway leads the North Little Rock Charging Wildcats. We're coming back on Conway Corporation, Channel 81.
Bunny Adcock is a banker, a duck hunter, a golf coach, and a community leader. He's got trust written all over him. That's why he's a loyal customer of Jody Brown Motors. He trusts them.
It's a banking philosophy. I put my trust in Jody Brown's, and they deliver good service to me. It's that simple.
Come on down to Jody Brown Motors in Conway.
Minute 22 to play in the first quarter, and on the strength of a John Duhart touchdown run following a Peyton Hillis touchdown run, the Wampus Cats lead 14-0. Blake Reagan with the kickoff, and it's down to the end line and in the end zone. And again, as we've talked about all season, high school football rules, if the ball goes into the end zone at all, it can't be returned. And it comes out to the 20, 1st and 10 for North Little Rock.
We may be seeing some friendly competition here between Hillis and Duhart. What you can do, I can do better.
Both of these men have run for over 100 yards in the games that Peyton has started from tight end to fullback.
And I've never thought I would say it, but the wing T offense,
it's actually can be very exciting.
It's explosive, high-scoring offense.
LaFear on the option. He keeps it himself, and he is wrapped up and brought down. Nice job. Looks like that was number 19, Brian Wilson, I think, on the stop. Whoever it was, hustled back to the... Brian Wilson on the stop, hustled back to the huddle there. Nice job. You see Joe Morgan, who played a great game a week ago. He's the quarterback of the defense, if you'll allow me to describe it that way. Calls the plays for the defense. 45 seconds, the clock runs in the first quarter. It's 14-0, Conway leads. LaFear looks and throws right. Pass is complete. Nice throw to Patrick Dorse. He collects the ball at about the 30-yard line and is tackled out of bounds.
And a nice throw there.
Blake Edwards on the coverage and on the stop. Third down for the Charging Wildcats. It's been a few years ago now where North Little Rock High School, some old-timers will remember when North Little Rock High and North Little Rock Northeast combined efforts to become the new North Little Rock High School. And they were the Chargers and the Wildcats, as I recall, and combined them to become the Charging Wildcats. 13 seconds to play in the first quarter. There you see the Wampus Cat Band. Some interesting dance moves from the flute section. Some of them with some extra clothing on tonight, as it is a chilly night at John McConnell Stadium. They'll be performing during halftime tonight.
Just trying to stay warm, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Moving around.
Silly dance moves aren't so silly on a cold,
That's right.
cold October eve. Again, they will be performing at halftime. Halftime today brought to you by our friends at Regions Bank. That'll be coming up in a few minutes. Still got the whole second quarter to go, but get you prepared for what you'll be seeing at the half. LaFear hands off to LaRon Young, and he, nice job actually to keep his balance and move to the left side. Tackled by number 67, Quentin Maxfield. Also on the stop is number 34. That's Chris Watley.
We would do well to keep Young contained. He runs a 4.5. He's a track guy.
And he showed some of that speed on the carry in the first possession. The clock runs down, and that's going to do it for the first quarter. Through one quarter of play, it's good news for Wampus Cat fans. Conway leads North Little Rock 14-0. Second quarter action on the way next from John McConnell Stadium. Good job by the Wampus Cats there in the first quarter, as it's 14-0. You're watching Conway Corporation, Channel 81. I'm Jeff Matthews. Welcome to the First Community Bank Player of the Week Award for the game against Parkview last week down at Scott Field in Little Rock. It's Joe Morgan, senior linebacker, had a great game, and the Wampus Cat coaching staff has voted him the Player of the Week. Donnie Bradley's here from First Community Bank, and he's got the presentation of the award for Joe.
Thanks, Jeff. On behalf of First Community Bank and all Wampus Cat fans, I want to be the first to congratulate you as Player of the Week.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Joe.
Good game, Joe. Coach, he's been playing well all year and had a great game again Friday.
Yes, he did. He's our quarterback on defense. He gets us in the right fronts, and he's the one that calls our defense. We waggle our defensive signals into him from the sideline. He does an excellent job of that. He's a very intelligent young man, and therefore that's a big help to us. He's our quarterback on the field. Against Little Rock Parkview in 2.5 quarters, he was in on 10 tackles and had a sack, and he is our leading tackler through the first 5 ball games. So we're real proud of Joe.
Congratulations, Joe. Another great game. Wampus Cat victory a week ago against Parkview. Back with second quarter action coming up next in the game against North Little Rock. I'm Jeff Matthews for Donnie Bradley, Joe Morgan, and Coach Kenny Smith. It's the First Community Bank Player of the Week Award. Second quarter's coming up next.
It was the closest game I'd ever played in. They were losing by 1, had 2 outs, and a man on third. Then this happened. And yes, I've worn a belt ever since.
Not all lessons have to be learned the hard way. Get the most from your advertising budget. Advertise on Conway Corporation Cable. Call 450-6025.
Welcome back to John McConnell Stadium on the campus of Conway High School, where tonight your Wampus Cats have a 14-0 lead over the North Little Rock Charging Wildcats. Just underway now in the second quarter. Passes Intercepted by Seth Irons, the best player in the universe.
Way to go, Seth!
Seth Irons with the big interception. Up to the return is up to the 31-yard line. Pass is overthrown and intended for number 7, Patrick Dorse. And Seth Irons makes the stop and brings it down to the 31-yard line. 1st and 10, a great job by the sophomore. And we've joked about Seth just because he's a really nice kid. We met him once at one of the coaches' shows, and he's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
We like him. We like Seth.
We like all the players.
We do, yeah. That's not, but yeah, Seth. 1st and 10, that's Peyton Hillis fighting his way forward like he does every down. And the mysterious number 96 with the tackle. 2nd down, and we'll call it 7.
I'm just checking the weights here to see if I can figure out. Maybe they got the wrong number on our roster.
It could be Sherman Cunningham, who is 6'3", 310.
Or it could be Tommy Wade.
It could be
which
Tommy
is
Wade.
350 pounds. I don't know.
Coulter in motion. Handoff to Duhart. He's up the middle across the 26 down to the 25, where he is tackled 3rd down now for Conway. Dennis Jones keeping his troops excited, clapping, telling them good job. He has really, really matured into a great leader, and that is the thing that makes a quarterback so good, is the leadership ability.
You're right.
And that is on every level of football. It's you've seen it if you're a Razorback fan. There's some talent up on the hill, but there is nobody that stepped forward as a leader to take charge of that team. Handoff to Peyton Hillis, and good stop made just as he crosses to the 25. Really no gain there. It'll be 4th down. 4th down, and they're going to bring out the kicking unit. Field goal attempt here, and it's going to be a long one.
That will be a very long one.
Looks like the ball will be placed down at the 32-yard line. Tack on the 10 yards for the end zone, and it's a 42-yard attempt.
We've seen Wilcox get close on a field goal similar to this earlier in the season.
Snap is good, the place is good, the kick is great. My goodness.
Wow.
Lance Wilcox with a 42-yard field goal that would have been good from 52 from the looks of it.
Absolutely. Man, what a kick.
This.
We knew he had a leg. My.
17-0. Conway leads. It's Conway Corporation, Channel 81.
I remember it like it was yesterday. Bobby said he needed a haircut, and I was only trying to help. While Mom was in the kitchen, I slipped in the bathroom and got my dad's clippers. And well, the rest is history. I guess some things are better left to the professionals.
Not all lessons have to be learned the hard way. Get the most from your advertising budget. Advertise on Conway Corporation Cable. Call 450-6025.
On the strength of Lance Wilcox's 42-yard field goal, it's 17-0. Conway leads North Little Rock. And a big kick again. There's Blake Reagan. I'll tell you what, if special teams and defense win you championships, well, you can figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
This team is a very talented bunch right now.
All cylinders are clicking.
Oh, yeah. Wilcox's kick there looked like one of your 7-irons. That was pretty impressive. High, deep. Very nice. Very nice.
Not one of my 7-irons.
10 minutes to go. 1st and 10. North Little Rock starts over. We're in the second quarter. They start over in a very familiar spot, which is on the 20-yard line. Handoff to Young, right side. He cuts it upfield. There's just nowhere to go. Blake Edwards on the stop. Who else is over there? Cannon Chandler, John Gray, Bobby Wilson, Joe Morgan. The usual suspects. Great job. 2nd down and 10.
Just seems to be no rhythm from North Little Rock's offense right now. They're not really doing anything too well right now.
Young is a senior, the talented running back that you spoke about earlier with the great speed. He's a senior, but quarterback's a sophomore. And one of the other tailbacks is a sophomore that's getting some considerable playing time, Brian Bowles.
But that offensive line's, for the most part, has good experience, good size. You would expect them to do well.
A gain of 1 there by Young. 3rd down and 9. 3rd and 9 for North Little Rock.
And we've talked about Conway's defensive line, and I think that has a whole lot to do with them not doing well.
We haven't mentioned his name tonight, but Dwayne Tyus, the nose guard, really anchors that defensive line and has just been outstanding all season long.
You're right. He keeps those offensive linemen off the linebackers, frees them up for Joe Morgan to make tackles. We saw him as Player of the Week.
Pass to the left side, complete to number 19, Nick Copeland. Seth Irons, Brian Wilson, and also got Chris Watley on the tackle. Not enough for the first down, though. It'll be 4th down for the Charging Wildcats, and they'll give the ball back over to Conway.
Conway's defense, they'll give up, a couple of plays, but they're not giving up first downs. They're not giving up big plays.
Ross Lloyd on to punt. Excuse me, it's a little chilly here tonight. Jason Deere with the punt reception, and he's after receiving the punt across the 50-yard line down to they'll probably put it right at the 50. Where it'll be 1st and down now for 1st and 10 for Conway.
Nice run there, getting the most he could out of that.
As you see from a couple of weeks ago, the game against Central, the USA that's painted at midfield still on the field, and just a great addition to John McConnell Stadium here. Jones rolls left, and he'll keep it across the 45, down to the 42-yard line. Good run by Dennis Jones, and a good decision by Dennis Jones. We've said it time and time again, but he continues to impress with his decision-making.
It's one thing to make the right decision to run there that he did, but he's looked like a running back. He's a 4th running back for him back there, and just done some outstanding runs, showed some good speed and strength, shed some tackles.
2nd down and 2. Yeah, Duhart, Hillis, Coulter, and Jones are all 4 so strong in the running department. Again, it just makes the team better. Duhart right side. Good quickness. Duhart across the 30, the 20. Slips down at the 8-yard line. Great run by John Duhart. 1st and goal from the 8 for Conway. Just a great run by Duhart.
Outstanding.
Yeah, you hate to feel this way, but you're almost getting to the point when you see him do things like this that you're not surprised anymore.
Yeah.
You almost expect to see these players do that, and that's where they have to be careful to not get complacent. And that's where Coach Kenny Smith and his staff does such a great job to keep this team going so that they know that even when things look easy, they got to keep playing hard every single down. Hillis up the middle. He crawls forward to the 3. 2nd down and goal.
And there's no real big surprises with this offense. They're going to run the ball. It's right, left, up the middle. But just the execution, the way they have performed it really brought the team together, and you see, that's what brings about these big plays, the blocking downfield.
Payton's knee was down at the 5-yard line. That's where they'll give it to him. 2nd down and goal at the 5. This time tackled out of bounds. They'll place it at the 2-yard line. 3rd down and goal. Nice tackle there made by number 42, Terrence Chappell. 3rd down and goal for the Wampus Cats. The ball's at the 2-yard line. Again, Conway leads 17-0. 6:27 to play in the first half. You see the clock stopped after Payton went out of bounds. What do you do here, Jim, if you're Coach Smith?
Well, you're going to see a run, I would bet.
There's your run. Peyton Hillis falls into the end zone. Great job by the sophomore. 2-yard run just over the left side. The offensive line, another great job. At times 73, Carter Rook, and 63, Chase Conk, with good blocks, giving them all kinds of room to run there. It's a cliche, Jim, but even I could have scored on that play. Great job by Carter Rook and Chase Conk.
Still, with a short yardage situation like that, I'm taking Peyton Hillis over you, Jeff.
I don't blame you. I'd take him too. Even on every yardage situation. The extra point, up. No surprise, it's good. Lance Wilcox has been automatic tonight. After 2 Peyton Hillis touchdowns, it's 24-0 now. Great job by Conway. 6:24 to go. It's Conway Corporation, Channel 81.
Can a bank help you catch the next big wave? It can if it has the right balance. With RegionsNet, you get the speed and flexibility of an internet bank, but you also get the convenience and personal service of over 800 Regions locations across the South. Internet banking with face-to-face service, clicks and bricks. Regions Bank. It's the next big wave in banking.
Here we are at Smith Ford Mercury in Conway, the oldest Ford dealer west of the Mississippi. They'll treat you like family, and they're big supporters of all the Faulkner County football programs, including the Bears and the Wampus Cats. The 2001s are here at great prices, like this new 2001 Taurus at deep discounts. The 2002s are rolling in. The financing has never been better. Smith Ford Mercury in Conway with a complete line of Mercurys and Fords. All the SUVs and vans and trucks are here at Smith Ford Mercury in Conway.
6:24 to go. We are in the first half. Peyton Hillis has scored from a 58-yard touchdown run and on that 2-yard touchdown run. Also, John Newhart, a 29-yard touchdown run, and a great field goal by Lance Wilcox, 42 yards. All of that combining for the 24 points that's on the field, on the scoreboard right now. On the field right now, you see something that just doesn't happen every day. There it goes away. LaRon Young makes his way through all of that mess up to the 29-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the charging Wildcats. Looks like Chris Watley and also number 30, Ryan DeRoke, on the stop. And we'll begin to see some players that we don't normally get to see, I think. 24-0, 6 minutes to go in the first half. And we'll try to keep up with all the changes as they occur. Noticed our buddy Lee Hammers, number 58, is in the game. LaFleur back to pass. And there's nowhere for him to go. Quentin Maxfield on the sack. Great job by Quentin.
It's really nice for Conway's offense to get up like this. That way we can bring in some new players and keep our other players fresh for later in the season.
I was talking to Coach Smith just about that. I was, said, well, how do we keep ourselves into the game, as it gets late and find things to talk about? And he said, talk about those Wampus Cats of the future. You're seeing them play right now, and that's the truth, because these sophomores and juniors that don't get a lot of playing time right now, those are the players we'll be relying on in the seasons to follow. LaFleur back to pass, looks and throws. He's got his man. That's Nick Copeland. Jason Deere brings him down with the help of Seth Irons. Nice tackle by the defensive secondary there for Conway. And a nice pass by LaFleur.
And we've seen him throw some good balls. Good play, good timing there.
Ball's at the 41-yard line, 1st and 10. And we talk about those players being the future of Wampus Cat football, but they're very much the present too.
Right.
Because they come in now and give those starters a chance to rest.
Well, and if there's, God forbid, if there's an injury, they're going to have to step in and play this year.
And it's silly to say this because it's so obvious, but it's obviously a physical game. Mm-hmm. And injuries do happen, and they can happen on any play. Pass complete to number 5, that's Bobby Knight. Up to the 46-yard line, Seth Irons on the coverage. It'll be 2nd down. Second down and 6. North Little Rock, the only winless team in the 5A Central. Again, they are 0-2. Conway 2-0. And the other 6 teams in this conference all 1-1 going into tonight's Friday night action. Pass is intended for number 11. That's Marcus Foley. Blake Edwards there on the coverage. The ball looked like it was going out of bounds. Flag on the play.
I'm not sure what the flag is, but that wasn't a catchable ball, I don't think. I believe it was out of bounds.
Not where it would have been in bounds, you're right. Here's the call from the officials. And it is pass interference against Blake Edwards, 1st down. Now for North Little Rock, kind of a surprising call.
Yeah.
But it's their job, and this is our job, so we'll let them do their part. 1st and 10 now for North Little Rock.
Looked like Seth just went around a receiver without pushing or grabbing. But that's the call.
That is the call. That's what you live with. You play through it. Good calls and bad calls. Or
The officials do a great job every game.
LaFear steps back, throws left. Pass is intended for Nick Copeland, and he can't hold on to it. Nice job there defensively by number 33. That's Billy McIntyre.
Should have had that one, and he knows it. I think a guy came across his field of view right in front of the ball and him, and it messed him up.
Second down now for North Little Rock. $24-0 is our score. Conway leads. Second down, LaFear to pass, looks left. Pass is out of bounds, intended for Foley. Jason Deere there to help up Marcus Foley as he fell on the track.
And it looks like North Little Rock's going to go to a lot of passing now to try to get back in this game.
And for a sophomore, LaFear, 5'11", 162, left-handed, throws a good ball. Throws a ball that'll be more catchable as he gets a little more mature, but he does throw a good ball at this point. So if they need that and they need to get back into it quick, they got a chance to do that. We'll see if the Conway defense can step up. I tend to think that they can. LaFear back to pass, throws, he's got a man open. Passes in and out of the hands of number 7, Patrick Dorse. Shea Jones on the coverage. And a nice job by Shea. 4th down and 10. And the punting unit comes on for the charging Wildcats. A team that has only been blown out once this year. The rest of their games have been very close games. They are 0-5, but they've played close throughout.
After going to the playoffs last year, I'm sure this team is very disappointed at this point. I'm sure they had high expectations.
Coach Greg Burrell starting his 3rd season for the charging Wildcats. They were 5-6 the first year and 6-5 last year. Delay of game will give the punter Ross Lloyd a little bit more room to work with.
Not a penalty. It really hurts him at this point. Gives him a little more room.
A little bit. Jason Deere sets up on the 20-yard line. Checked at the 15 as he and Shea Jones wait for the punt. High wobbly kick short of the 20 and then bounces past the 20.
That was dangerous.
Yeah, to the 16-yard line it was.
A lot of Conway players around that ball.
24-0. First half action. Conway's got the big lead on Conway Corporation, Channel 81.
Looking for a great pair of shoes? Dryer Shoes of Conway has all the latest styles and fashions. Whether it's sports, casual, children's, or ladies' dress shoes, we have a large supply to choose from. With selections from Adidas, Reebok, Nike, New Balance, Bourne, Mia, Nine West, Nicole, and many more, you're sure to find the shoe that's just right for you. And if we don't have it, we'll special order at no extra charge. Come visit Dryers, the family shoe store, in the Conway Town Center off Highway 65 North.
Here for John Walters Chevrolet. Check out the all-new Chevy Avalanche. It's part SUV, it's part full-size pickup. The Avalanche is the only vehicle that can go from 6-passenger SUV to 3-passenger full-size truck with protected cargo bed in less than a minute. With the exclusive midgate, the Avalanche is the ultimate utility vehicle. Room to play, power to work. So come and see the 2002 Avalanche from the family of Chevy trucks here at Walters Chevrolet in Conway.
Under 4 minutes to play in the first half. 24-0. Conway has the lead. The starters still in an offense. No surprise there. Dennis Jones, quarterback, handoff to Coulter. Scott goes left side. Good block by Peyton Hillis across the 30 to the 37-yard line. Good run by Scott Coulter.
Talk about the future. Scott Coulter is going to be a big presence in the backfield next year. And we've seen him have great success earlier in the year.
Of that starting backfield, Dennis Jones a senior, John Newhart a senior. But then the other two, Peyton Hillis a sophomore and Scott Coulter a junior. So we will have those two back next year. But this year is pretty exciting right now. 24-0 is our score in this game. 3:33 to go. The clock runs in the first half. Again, the Regions Bank halftime report is on the way at halftime. Hand off to Hillis, and there's just nowhere to go. 5 Wildcats come off the pile. And the Charger Wildcat defense will begin really realizing how to stop Peyton Hillis, and that's to gang tackle him.
Hit him low.
Second down now for Conway. 3 minutes to go in the first half. Again, 24-0 is our score. Duhart bounces off one tackle and can't get away from him. Nice job defensively there. At number 80 is Reginald Mosley. We've seen him make a couple of nice plays on this drive defensively for the Charging Wildcats. Third down and 9 now for Conway. 2.5 to play in this first half.
And I said it earlier. This pretty good defense we're playing against here. Returning 10 starters.
10 starters from a team that went to the playoffs a year ago defensively. Two receivers set up to the left. The ball's on the right hash mark. Jones will roll left, stops and throws. Pass is complete. Across the 45, down to the 42-yard line. That is the senior, Chad Stewart.
That's a confident throw right there, Jeff. Through traffic. Watch this.
Great pass. Stewart was where he was supposed to be, and there's all kinds of pressure on Jones as well.
Beautiful. Great job.
Perfect execution. 2 minutes to play. First and 10 at the 41-yard line. Check that call at the 42. Coulter in motion. Option play to Hillis.
Oh.
He slips at the 44-yard line. Big hit by number 42. It's Terrence Chappell.
You won't see Peyton take too many hits like this. That's a good hit. He was slipping a little bit though in his defense. So he puts on his brakes there.
Yeah, that left foot slipped out from underneath him. Second down and about 11. Jason Deere sets up far left side, just about a yard off of the sideline. Here's Hillis. Fights his way forward. There you go. 2, 4, 6 Charging Wildcats. And Peyton comes up talking. Referee's going to say something to him about that. If we've seen anything with Peyton, he's pretty intense.
Oh, he is. Every play, he comes to play. He hits hard, he blocks hard, he runs hard.
1 minute and 2 seconds to play. We're getting ready in the first half. 24-0 is our score. Jones steps in there and calms his teammates down a little bit. Actually got a timeout called, so we'll have more time to calm. 1 minute, 2 seconds to play. Again, first half action, 24-0. The scoring for Conway has been this way. A Peyton Hillis touchdown run of 58 yards. A John Duhart run of 29. A Lance Wilcox 42-yard field goal that would have been good from 50 and beyond. And also a 2-yard run by Peyton Hillis. All the extra points good by Lance Wilcox, and it's 24-0. Just a great workmanlike effort thus far for Conway.
In the 3rd and 10 here, Jeff, you would expect to pass. But with the big play running game, who knows?
We have definitely seen this offense, and if you follow football at all, you know that the wing T is more of a ball control, clock control offense. Just to move the ball down 3 yards in a cloud of dust, keep the football, keep the clock moving, and really traditionally a low-scoring offense, but they score with like some of these West Coast offenses, as you see a lot of college and pro teams and some high school teams. We've seen Russellville, who's had a lot of success with that type of offense, put a lot of points on the board. Jones back to pass. There's some pressure, and he throws over the middle. Pass complete. That's Peyton Hillis across the 30. Right at the 30, maybe the 29-yard line. And just a great job. And again, I know people have got to be sick of hearing us talk about this, but watch the job that Dennis Jones does. Waits, all kinds of pressure on him, and finds the right receiver.
That was a design screenplay, I believe, there. Yeah, and it was. Beautiful execution by Jones under enormous pressure.
Jones back to pass again, 1st and 10. Passes wasn't caught. It was intended for Scott Coulter, and I think it was incomplete. It was. And the clock stops with 40 seconds to play in this first half. And I know Coach Smith has got to be pleased with what he has been seeing in the first 24 minutes of clock time tonight. "40 seconds to go until the Region's halftime show. Stick around for that. We'll get to see the Conway Wampus Cat Marching Band perform during halftime. Jones rolls and looks left. Pass is complete. Nice job, the route run by Scott Coulter. He got himself open and waited for the pass to come down, and Jones hit him.
Jones showing great touch here. Watch this ball just drop down in the hole. Boom.
All kinds of charging Wildcats all the way around the single Wampus Cat that was there, and that was Scott Coulter. 1st and 10 now for the Wampus Cats. 30 seconds to go. The clock runs. Ball at the 15-yard line. Jones throws right. Pass complete to Duhart. He's into the end zone for a touchdown. Great job by Dennis Jones. He finds John Duhart for a 14-yard touchdown pass.
I love to see these backs come out of the backfield because they can all catch, Jeff. And you see Duhart doing it there and taking it in.
And the yards after the catch is so important, and you see them do that. Those short passes, they turn upfield. They're so fast. Just another facet of this offense that makes them so dangerous. 30-0 with just 24 seconds to play in the first half. What a great performance by Conway. Wilcox gets the extra point up, and it landed somewhere near Prince Street.
Yes, I think it hit UCA.
31-0. Conway's got the big lead. Conway Corporation, Channel 81.
Trusting Imboden Carpets to serve all your carpet and floor covering needs. Now the family that opened Conway's first carpet store has a carpet cleaning service too. With our new state-of-the-art hot water extraction system, Imboden Carpet Cleaning Service can keep your carpets, upholstery, and area rugs clean, fresh, and odor-free. Whether it's residential or commercial, Imboden Carpet Cleaning can meet all your needs. Give us a call at 329-1298 and put our trained professionals to work for you. You'll be amazed at the difference.
24 seconds to go. We are rapidly approaching halftime, and it's 31-0. Your Wampus Cats have the lead. The kick goes in and out of the hands of LaRon Young, and he slips, and when he does slip, he goes into the end zone by just a few inches, and that's enough. Actually, he was touchdown there at the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
My apologies. I thought they were waving it as a touchback.
And in high school football, you wouldn't want to pick a ball up like that while you're laying on the ground because you're down where you touch the ball.
19 seconds, and the defense for the Wampus Cats, a chance for them to actually put some points on the board if they were to get a safety here.
This Conway defense doesn't have to blitz a lot just because of how good the defensive line is, but you might see one here. It'd be an excellent time.
1st and 10 at the 1 yard line. Let's see what they do call.
Looks like they're going to play it safe.
And the equivalent of the kneel down, I believe, there, just not wanting to get the safety and do anything that would give Conway a chance to score more points, and that is going to do it. The clock is going to run out of the first half, and probably the best first half of football we've seen in a long, long time by this Conway Wampus Cat team. 31-0. Outstanding first half of football. Halftime's coming up next, brought to you by Regions Bank on Conway Corporation, Channel 81. Great job by the dance squad. They
Regions Bank. Let us lend you our strength.
Great job by the dance squad before the commercial break there. Now the Conway Wampus Cat Marching Band will come on, and we'll enjoy their performance tonight. Jim, let's talk about football for just a second before we get into the halftime show here, brought to you by Regions Bank. Couldn't have played a much better first half offensively and defensively for the Wampus Cats.
Now, you'd have to think that was everything that they wanted and more. Perfect execution. We talk a lot about that offense, but the defense, just outstanding, solid. They refuse to give up any big plays. So very impressive performance by the defense, and it goes without saying the offense as well.
Just a great job. 31-0 is our halftime score. Now here's the Conway Wampus Cat Marching Band. Enjoy it.
the flag and the red line.
For years, you've known Regions as one of the strongest banks in America. But now, teamed with Morgan Keegan, one of the largest and most trusted investment firms in the South, we're more powerful than just a bank. With more financial power to create the wealth you'll need for your future. More power to keep your options open. no matter where you're headed or how far you're going. Regions and Morgan Keegan, more than a bank, a new financial powerhouse.
My name is Eric Conley. I'm in the 11th grade.
My name is Candace Burton, and I'm in the 12th grade.
I play on the high school basketball team and soccer team, and I'm in FBLA, and I go to K-Life. I'm in a small group.
Currently, I'm involved in SAVE, HOSA, and Art Club.
When I graduate, I want to attend college at a four-year school, and after college, I'd like to go into a business field, try to be a manager or a small business owner.
Where I plan on going to school after I graduate is to the University of Medical Center in Little Rock or to a school in Texas.
Okay.
My goals in the future is to become a respiratory therapist.
In my family, I have two brothers. One older brother, he's in college right now in Missouri, and a younger brother who goes to Carl Stewart Middle School. My dad is a businessman in Little Rock, and my mom is a substitute teacher.
I have two brothers, and I'm the only girl, and I live with both of my parents, and they're a very big inspiration in my life.
I have Eric 3 periods a day. I have him for accounting 1 and for banking and finance, and he excels in both of those classes. I haven't checked on his grades in other classes or how he does, but I suspect he does well at whatever he does just because of his work habits and his dedication to his studies.
I'm always ready to go to banking and finance because it's a kind of small class and we're in there for 2 periods, and so I think I get a lot out of it, and we have a lot of discussion and we talk about stuff that actually applies to the real world.
Candace has been a student life for 2 years, 10th and 11th grade. She's uncommonly kind. She perseveres. She's an incredible individual, and I absolutely think the world of her. She's quite a leader. She's what I call a quiet leader. She leads with grace.
My favorite class is medical profession.
We're behind everything that our school does. Just basically anything that goes on here.
We're probably the safest school in the state of Arkansas.
I remember it like it was yesterday. Bobby said he needed a haircut, and I was only trying to help. While Mom was in the kitchen, I slipped in the bathroom and got my dad's clippers. And well, the rest is history. I guess some things are better left to the professionals.
Not all lessons have to be learned the hard way. Get the most from your advertising budget. Advertise on Conway Corporation Cable. Call 450-6025.
Just about ready to start the second half tonight from John McConnell Stadium. And you see a happy bunch of Wampus Cats at this point. They are on top 31-0. 31-0. Let's go over the scoring for the Wampus Cats, since that's all the scoring there's been thus far. At the 6:48 mark of the first quarter, Peyton Hillis scored on a 58-yard touchdown run. Lance Wilcox's extra point made it 7-0. At 1:22 of the first quarter, John Duhart scored from 29 yards out. The Wilcox kick made it 14-0. With the 10-minute mark of the second quarter, Lance Wilcox kicked a 42-yard field goal. Just a great job by Lance. 17-0 for the Wampus Cats. Peyton Hillis, a 2-yard run later in the quarter. The extra point was good. And then a 14-yard touchdown pass from Dennis Jones to John Duhart. Again, the Wilcox kick was good. That was as the second quarter was coming to a close. Made it 31-0, which is where we're at right now, as Blake Reagan kicks off to start second half action. LaRon Young deep to bring the ball back, and he is across the 15, or actually at the 15, where he is dropped. Nice job defensively on the special teams. Number 27, Brian Burton. Also number 34, Chris Watley. And 45, Bobby Kelly. All in on the stop. Nice job by the special teams there. And Jim, this defense has been outstanding.
Absolutely, Jeff. Just they're putting hits on people. Everybody's in the places that they need to be. We've seen lots of interceptions from this defense too. So I mean, you see things like good hands back there in addition to good hits.
Seth Irons with an interception early, and this is the sort of thing that drives a coach nuts. First play from scrimmage after halftime, and it looks like the Charging Wildcats need to call a timeout.
That's definitely not a good sign.
11:52 to go in the third quarter.
I have a whole half to prepare for that play.
And something wasn't right. The whole team goes to the sideline to talk to Coach Greg Burrell of the North Little Rock Charging Wildcats. And we found an interesting stat during halftime. The starters for this Conway Wampus Cat defense, again, the starting defense, has not allowed a point in 7 quarters.
That is just outstanding.
Dedrick Poole scored in the third quarter of the Central game. The fourth quarter, they were held without any points. Last week, 7 points scored, but that was against the second-team defense late in the game. And now 2 quarters of shutout football here. 7 quarters since the defense has given up points, the first-team defense for Conway. LaFear back to pass, throws right, looks right, and he's got a guy. It's number 7, Patrick Dorse, up to the 25-yard line. Going to be close to a first down. Blake Edwards on the stop. He's second down and 1 for North Little Rock. 31-point lead for Conway. You would think that it'll be, at some point, we'll begin to see the second-team defense come in, and I know they'll try to shut out this team in the second half. LaFear gets loose. He's across the 20, or actually down to the 24-yard line where he's stopped by Chris Watley. Nice job by the junior to make the stop.
It looked like he had a little room to run there, and Chris Watley stepping up and making the play. An open field. Good job.
Let's see where they're going to place the football at. It is actually going to be enough for a first down. So it'll be 1st and 10 for North Little Rock. Again, as we were mentioning there, we'll see the second-team defense at some stage. That's what we saw a week ago when Coach Smith brought in the second-team defense, about with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. So we'll see what happens tonight. And you know that they would love to continue what the first team has done and try to get a shutout. There's a snap over the quarterback's head. LaFear is back and does a smart job, just falls on it at the 6-yard line.
There's something we saw a lot of last week.
Again, high snap on just a snap over the quarterback's head, and LaFear does a good job just to fall on it. He's talking to his center, and as a sophomore, trying to keep all those players with their heads up and not to look at the scoreboard and get down and just try to play smart football the best they can, down 31-0.
Yeah, at this point, I think they just want to carry something positive into the next game. But this Conway defense is not going to let them.
Handoff up the middle. Nice run by number 44. That's Brian Bolds, the sophomore, with a good run up to about the 20-yard line. Shea Jones on the stop. Bolds with a nice run. Got into the secondary, and Jones stood him up and moved him back. Nice job. These blowouts are great if you're a Wampus Cat fan to see your team playing this good. Movement on the offensive line possibly is what drew Dwayne Tyus over the football. We'll see what the call is.
They're calling against Conway.
Yeah, calling offsides against the Wampus Cat line, defensive line there. Again, the blowouts are great. If you're a fan, you get to see your team play well. If you're a player, you get to rest A. And if you're a backup player, you get a chance to play in a game-type situation with game-type hitting. But the one thing that it does provide for is some long moments of excitement if you're in the broadcast booth. Nick Copeland with the catch, the pass from LaFear. Seth Irons with the stop, also Billy McIntyre. And you're right, Nick Copeland injured on the play.
Maybe his arm.
The support staff out to check on Nick Copeland, 6'1", 181, a senior. Hard to see what the injury was, but I think you're right. Maybe that shoulder got drove into the ground. Let's take a break here while they check on Nick Copeland. 31-0 is our score. Conway Corporation, Channel 81.
Steve Sullivan here for John Walters Chevrolet. Who wants ordinary? You expect more, the all-new Chevy Impala delivers. The Impala is a Chevrolet legend. The new generation Impala continues the tradition as a luxurious, well-built car that satisfies your desire for performance. So come to Walters Chevrolet in Conway and test drive the 2002 Chevy Impala, and you too can reward your passion for driving.
We'll take you there.
And a nice hand from the Conway fans for Nick Copeland. And Jimmy, you had a point to make there. You saw him grabbing his arm?
Yeah, it looked like Shea Jones, when he came over, he grabbed his arm trying to tackle him. May have bent it back the wrong way, and hopefully he's not hurt too bad.
Being helped off by the training staff there. And then we'll get back to football here. Looks like a fourth down situation as Shea Jones and Jason Deere back up to wait for the Ross Lloyd punt. Lloyd punts it away for North Little Rock. It's a short kick that bounces up to the 40-yard line, and Shea gets away from it, and it'll be down at the 39, where Conway will take over 1st and 10. So the offense comes back onto the field, 1st down and 10 for your Wampus Cats, and again, the Wampus Cats come in on top of the 5A Central 2-0. Little Rock Central, Mountain Home, Little Rock Hall, Parkview, and McClellan, all at 1-1 on the season, and then North Little Rock at 0-2. Handoff to Hillis, good run across the 50, across the 45, and whoever it was, the 50-yard line that tripped him up, saved a touchdown there because Peyton was on his way.
Talk about a shoestring tackle, man. Yeah, if Peyton could have got by that one hand, he would have been gone.
Nice run by Peyton Hillis. You see Dennis Jones keeping his team motivated, clapping hands, getting everybody up. And just being a good, strong leader. That's what we've talked about and what the Wampus Cats need and what he has continued to do, getting this team clicking on all cylinders. 1st and 10, Wampus Cats. It's Duhart, right side. Good block by Peyton across the 40. The 35 down to the 31-yard line. Run out of bounds. Nice run by Duhart. And if I've said that once, I've said it a million times this season.
Oh, and you're right about Peyton. He made 2 blocks on that play. Excellent job opening up a hole for Hillis. For Duhart to run through.
And you know that Peyton's brother Kyle is so proud of what his younger brother's been doing, stepping into his slot. And because of the injury, Kyle unable to play, but Peyton has stepped up, and Coach Smith has used the term, some players light a spark, and Peyton has started a forest fire. Hillis with another big run. No surprise, across the 20. Just an outstanding run.
The legs just never stop moving, and that's what a running back's supposed to do. Watch this. His legs just keep going, keep churning, and he's pulling players along.
Jim, remind me to get a thesaurus for next week's game, so I'll have something else to say about Peyton Hillis. My goodness, this man is playing great. The whole team is, and it sure is fun to watch. 8 minutes to go, 3rd quarter action. Our score again, 31-0. Conway leads 31-0.
I'm just afraid that you're going to see him and the rest of the starters on the sideline cheering here in a little bit.
Well, we'll see some other talent.
Absolutely, yes.
Coulter in motion. Handoff to Scott. He's across the 20. And there's a flag on the play. Scott Coulter taken down at the 18-yard line, but we'll see what the flag is. And they're talking to the defensive captain. Looks like they're for North Little Rock, so it is against the offense. So we'll have the official call here from our referee. Holding against the Wampus Cats. It'll back him up. And it'll be 1st down and 20 yards to go. Ball placed at the 30-yard line. Last year, the final score in this game was 17-7, with Conway getting the victory. Pass to Jason Deere. Good run by Jason after the catch, down to the 18. Another good example of the speed with the run after the catch there, Jim.
That's right. Conway's pretty content just to run the clock down here, taking up most of the half. You won't see too many passes, but when the defense allows it, you've got to, take advantage of it.
Certainly. 7 minutes to go. We're in the third quarter, and everything going well still for Conway. Next week on the road, and next week's opponent will be probably the toughest for the rest of the season until we get into the playoffs. Little Rock McClellan next week at McClellan, a team that going into tonight is 4-1. Duhart with the run. He fights his way forward. Nice run by John Duhart. And he's getting, reminding me a lot of the way Hillis runs, and it's been this way all season, where you can't tackle him by yourself. It takes 2 or 3 defensive players at least to bring down these offensive players.
We talk about Hillis's power, and rightfully so, but Duhart has, for his size, an outstanding power. He's not afraid to run right up the middle.
Duhart 5'9", 160, and you're right, he is not afraid to run anywhere. He has such strong legs and just an incredible determination and will. 6:09 to go. The clock runs in the third quarter. It's Peyton Hillis. One guy hanging on for dear life, and he finally, with the help of 4 of his teammates, brought Peyton Hillis to the ground inside 6 minutes to go in this third quarter. Big number 96 also coming off the tackle.
I don't know how he did it. He had one guy holding on to his feet, and he still managed to knock one guy over.
Number 30, Jerome Stovall, being helped off the field there, being pushed off the field. Now he's coming back. He was at the bottom of that pile. And an official's timeout as we will measure for a first down. Tonight, Little Rock McClellan is at Little Rock Hall. Elsewhere in 5A Central action, Parkview is at Catholic, Mountain Home is at Little Rock Central. And that McClellan Hall score, Hall, a team also 1-1, but 1-4 overall. Little Rock McClellan 1-1 in the conference, 4-1 overall.
Looks like a first down.
It is enough, just barely enough for a first down for the Wampus Cats. They take over 1st and 10. McClellan would have to be favored in that game over Hall, and if they get a victory there, they will come into the game 2-1 in conference play. Next week's game, 2-1 in conference play, and 5-1 overall. That again is if the McClellan Lions get a victory tonight over Little Rock Hall, and that'll set up a big showdown next week. Duhart on the run. Duhart still on his feet, slides down at the 1-yard line. They're going to place him short of the goal line at the 1.
I keep talking about his vision, but watch it here as he goes outside and then he sees a hole inside. Great vision, good cut.
And you got to have the speeds and the moves to be able to put it all together with that vision. And that makes him such a dangerous runner. And it's not fair to compare anybody to somebody like Barry Sanders, but that's who he reminds me of. With that type of vision and that type of speed on a high school level. Dennis Jones takes the snap and just ducks down and follows his offensive line in, and he's in for the touchdown. Follows his big center, Jason Fowler, across the goal line. 1-yard run there for a touchdown and the extra point pending. 37-0. Conway leads North Little Rock. Jones will put the placement down.
Good to see Jones get a reward there for all the great job he's done. He completes passes when he needs to and does an excellent job holding. We've seen him make some big plays there on the high snaps.
4:52 to play, and that 1-yard touchdown run by Jones. And the extra point by Wilcox makes it 38-0. 38-0. Conway leads North Little Rock. You're watching Conway Corporation, Channel 81.
Unrelenting power. Kawasaki has unleashed the new Prairie 650 ATV with the only V-twin on Earth. Now, just $99 a month, or get one of our other select ATVs at lower payments and prices than before. On a Kawasaki ATV, domination is not only inevitable, it's affordable as well.
See your Kawasaki dealer, Duncan Outdoors, in Conway.
There's an expression in the automobile business that says the salesperson helps the customer buy the first car, but it's up to the service department to sell the next one. It's true. Our salespeople and service advisors are committed to your satisfaction. United Motor Company is confident that you'll be as satisfied with your sales and service experience as you are with your new vehicle. It's more than a promise, it's a 5-star guarantee. We're your friendly Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep dealer. United Motor Company, I-40, exit 129 in Conway.
Welcome back to John McConnell Stadium. A very happy John McConnell Stadium at this point. 38-0. Third quarter action. 4:52 to play in this third quarter. Conway has the big lead, and I think it is officially safe to begin looking forward to next week. A matchup against Little Rock McClellan, and it will be a great one next week at Little Rock McClellan. What a good kickoff. I tell you, we sound like a broken record. I don't know how else to put it, but this team is just playing so well in every facet of the game.
Every aspect, and I can't think of anything weak. The water boys are bringing the water in on time.
That's right. Good, solid water boy work. Manager's doing a great job keeping the uniforms clean and taping the ankles, all the stuff that they do. The band performed well. The cheer squad did well.
The pom-pom squad.
Oh, the popcorn tastes good tonight. It's just a good night for football. LaFear back, throws right, and he is knocked down. Great job there by number 4, Blake Edwards. The pass was complete to Bobby Knight. And before he had a chance to even make a move, Blake Edwards was there to knock him down. 4.5 minutes to go. 2nd down and 7. Well, it's 2nd and 8 for the charging Wildcats.
The field even looks nice tonight.
It does. Even the field looks nice.
Grounds crew's done an excellent job.
This could get old real quick. LaFear back to pass, and he is being chased by a ton of Wampus Cats. He lets the ball go, and it's out of bounds. Intended for number 7, Patrick Dorse. Incomplete. That'll stop the clock. 3rd down and 8. 4:10 to go. We're in the third quarter. 38-0. Conway has the lead. And again, it's worth mentioning, if you want to take it back even further, right now it's been 7 quarters since the starters gave up a touchdown. But even in that entire Little Rock Central game, Dedrick Poole was the only player that scored for Central. And Dedrick Poole, yes, he ran for almost 200 yards and scored 3 touchdowns. Dedrick Poole may be, except for the people that play for Conway, maybe the best running back in the state. Let's take a break here. No timeout for North Little Rock. Conway leads. It's Conway Corporation, Channel 81. 4:10 to play in the third quarter, and a timeout there called by North Little Rock. And again, if you take it back to the Little Rock Central game, then Little Rock Parkview, and now against North Little Rock, it has been a long time. Tackle made by Brian Wilson. Sack made, a deep loss there for North Little Rock. The ball was at the 22-yard line, and Brian shot all the way forward and knocked him down at the 2.
And there were 2 guys behind him for Conway, so
chasing him down. Amazing. What a great job by this defensive football team right now. Again, to reiterate the point I've been trying to make and can't seem to spit out, is except for the performance by Dedrick Poole, 3 touchdowns and 200 yards, and Dedrick is as good as anybody in the state. Except for that performance, this defense has shut down everybody. The starting defense has shut down everybody for 10, 11 quarters now. Very, very impressive.
So basically, you've got to be one of the best backs in the nation to get through this Conway defense.
It seems like at this point, the way things are going.
And even then you lose because Conway's offense is putting more points on the board.
Coach Smith has got to be pleased. And it's and we might be in a precarious situation here doing these games on tape delay where so many of the players get a chance to watch the broadcast. And, it's not our job at all to fill their head with things that aren't true, but I think it's safe for us to call them like we see them. And right now, this is as good a football team as anybody in the state, and they don't need a couple of amateurs like us to tell them that. Punt is muffed a little bit there by Jason Deere, but he's quick to get back on top of it. And it'll be 1st and 10 now for the Wampus Cats as they take over 3:23 to play in the third quarter.
And Jeff, you talk about next week's game. I think that's going to be a true test for this Conway team, playing away and a quality opponent.
Exactly, and I really do think that I think this team needs a test. I think it's a good time for it. Changes on offense. Number 10, Anthony Cox comes in at quarterback, hands off to a new fullback. That's 46, Whitney Thompson. Whitney with a nice run across the left side, second down. And we will begin to see some of the Wampus Cats of the future. As far as starters go, they're Wampus Cats of the present.
And like we said earlier, Jeff, a lot of these players may be called upon during the season to replace a player that could get injured.
And you never know where that replacement is going to be at. In a situation like with the fullback, Peyton Hillis takes over for his brother. Well, that opened up a tight end position, because that's where Peyton was at. We see Stephen Moore getting the start and still out there for the Wampus Cats. Handoff to number 26. That is Kendall Carter. Carter, the junior, with the run on the right side. It'll be third down. Looks like most of the starters for the offensive line are still out there. Jason Fowler, Chase Conk, Drew Bell, Carter Rook, and Zach Little. And it is worth mentioning again how great that team of offensive linemen has played. Just done an outstanding job. We do see number 72, Terrence Mackey, in the game.
Ooh.
Big hit on the handoff to Kendall Carter. There's nowhere to go. Also, Sean Sutton in the game on the left side of the line, 5'7", 170, a junior.
Reginald Mosley on that tackle. Nice hit.
Anthony Cox, the sophomore quarterback. And you would have to assume that either he or Blake Edwards will be the starter next year, unless someone comes up that's just a real surprise. But Blake Edwards, starting quarterback for the Wampus Cats, was the other option at quarterback at the start of the season. And Blake and Dennis Jones were going head-to-head, and Dennis won out. And both of those players have played great in their respective positions.
You're right. Edwards has done an outstanding job at cornerback.
Whitney Thompson stopped there. Let's take a break. Conway leads 38-0.
Here we are at Smith Ford Mercury in Conway, the oldest Ford dealer west of the Mississippi. They'll treat you like family, and they're big supporters of all the Faulkner County football programs, including the Bears and the Wampus Cats. The 2001s are here at great prices, like this new 2001 Taurus at deep discounts. The 2002s are rolling in. The financing has never been better. Smith Ford Mercury in Conway with a complete line of Mercurys and Fords. All the SUVs and vans and trucks are here at Smith Ford Mercury in Conway.
Looking for a great pair of shoes? Dryer Shoes of Conway has all the latest styles and fashions. Whether it's sports, casual, children's, or ladies' dress shoes, we have a large supply to choose from. With selections from Adidas, Reebok, Nike, New Balance, Bourne, Mia, Nine West, Nicole, and many more, you're sure to find a shoe that's just right for you. And if we don't have it, we'll special order at no extra charge. Come visit Dryers, the family shoe store, in the Conway Town Center off Highway 65 North.
Minute 25 to play in the third quarter. And the North Little Rock Charging Wildcats take over on first and 10. They're passing complete, second down and 10. Incomplete pass will stop the clock at a minute 21. And Jim, this is our first year to do these games, but it has been a fun first year thus far, 6 games into the season.
I don't think we could have picked a better year to start this. Some great games, really fun, close games at the early part of the season, and now we get the fun games in which we're blowing them out.
LaFear's pass incomplete, intended for Marcus Foley. It'll be third down and 10. I think it's a good idea to look forward to the Little Rock McClellan game next week. Again, it'll be on the road. And the only 2 losses thus far this season for Conway have been on the road. Very tough loss to Russellville and to Van Buren. Russellville, a team which has, since the loss, or since we played them the second week of the season, has gone on to beat the #1 ranked team in the state at the time, Fort Smith Southside. Pass complete to the right side with all kinds of flags down. And Patrick Dorse takes in the pass, but good tackle made by number 99, Matt Moody, the junior, makes the stop on Patrick Dorse. Nice move by the big man, 5'11", 270. took down doors. False start by North Little Rock is declined. It'll be 4th down. But the losses on the road to Van Buren and Russellville, the only 2 losses thus far. It looks like we're on our way to a 4-2 start on the season. Next week on the road, Coach Kenny Smith will have to get this team ready to play in a hostile environment against a very good football team.
Right. And I think one of the better defenses that this Conway team will play, they have some outstanding defensive players.
Anthony Cox and Seth Irons back to receive the punt. Seth takes it on the roll across the 40-yard line, I believe, at the 45. 1st and 10, Conway takes over. It's Conway Corporation, Channel 81.
Sheila Whitmore is a Conway City alderman, a busy executive, a wife, and a mom. Juggling this many things in her life on a daily basis means she must have dependable transportation and someone who can solve any service problem in a hurry. Jody Brown Motors, her natural choice.
Those guys at Jody Brown's are great. Their dependability offers a wonderful alternative for my hectic lifestyle.
Come on down to Jody Brown Motors in Conway.
Your Wampus Cats lead 38-0. 38-0 as we approach the end of the 3rd quarter.
And Jeff, we were talking about the McClellan defense. There's a familiar name, that of Keith Jackson, on that defensive line.
The son of the former Oklahoma Razorback, Oklahoma Sooner, who is now, he should have been an Arkansas Razorback for Arkansas fans. As an Oklahoma fan, I'm glad he was a Sooner. Former Sooner, but is now the color commentator for the Razorbacks. So if you listen to Razorback football games on the radio, Keith Jackson is the voice you hear with Paul Eels. Handoff there to number 26, Kendall Carter. Not much room to run for Carter. 2nd down now for the Wampus Cats, but again, the son of the former Sooner, Keith Jackson Jr., is just a great defensive player that we'll see next week.
And McClellan also has All-State linebacker Nick Pettis. So maybe a strong defense there for us to watch out.
It's fun to watch how we match up against them next Friday night. Reverse handoff to number 42. That's Sam McFadden. Good run for McFadden across the 40. Slowed up at the 35, but still fights his way forward to the 28-yard line. Sam McFadden with a great run. That's the play that we've seen Scott Coulter run for miles on, it seems like, this year. Sam McFadden played that role with a great run there.
Looked like Hillis there, breaking tackles and, man, showing some good speed and vision.
This charging Wildcat team not very deep athletically, so you're going to see a lot of the same players on both sides of the ball. Let's go to the 4th quarter. Conway leads 38-0.
Sheila Whitmore is a Conway City alderman, a busy executive, a wife, and a mom. Juggling this many things in her life on a daily basis means she must have dependable transportation and someone who can solve any service problem in a hurry. Jody Brown Motors, her natural choice.
Those guys at Jody Brown's are great. Their dependability offers a wonderful alternative for my hectic lifestyle.
Come on down to Jody Brown Motors in Conway.
There you see the Wampus Cat Band. Again, a great job by them during halftime. There's either the cheerleaders or the pom-pom squad. Well, there's both. Good. So, whichever ones they are. They do a great job regardless.
Absolutely. everyone with the program, the band, cheerleaders, pom-pom.
I didn't have the chance, and neither one of us had the chance to grow up a Wampus cat, but it's our adoptive hometown for both of us, and it's exciting to be a part of this the whole atmosphere on Friday nights. Handoff left side. That's Brian Burton, 6'3", 185, a junior. Brian Burton with the carry. Burton with some good size, 6'3", long legs. You'd think he could make up a lot of room quickly. Ball at the 27-yard line. Eric Bell brings the play in. We'll get some of these other players mentioned here that we see. Colin Sears, 6'4", 285. The sophomore sets up on the offensive line. Handoff right up the middle. Nice run by number 29, I believe. Bobby Watson. Watson, who actually started the first game of the season against Cabot in place of the injured Kyle Hillis. Nice run by Bobby. Down to the 25-yard line. Good, powerful run. Number 40, Brian McLean, brings the play in. Also on the line, we see number 59, Sean Sutton. Handoff to McFadden, left side. Good hit down to the 19-yard line. Looks like all of these running backs, regardless of first team, second team, or whatever, they're all taught to run the same way, and that's to lower that shoulder and punish somebody.
They're not going to run out of bounds. And it's got to be encouraging for Coach Smith to see the second team people come in here and be successful. Just talented depth on Conway, both offensively and defensively.
Personal foul there on North Little Rock, and that's only going to help the Conway situation, as this second team offense has got some deep penetration here, down close to the 10-yard line when the penalty is stepped off. We see number 55, Jake Cummins, into the game at center, and he'll bring the offensive line to the football. Also 72, Terrence Mackey on the right side of the offensive line. Anthony Cox is the quarterback. First and goal inside the 10-yard line. Handoff and a big hit there. Bobby Watson takes a big hit and takes the biggest guy on the field, who we still don't have a name for, number 96, to bring him down.
Great job by Bobby Watson there, sustaining his balance and trying to bring it outside, but he just had nowhere to go.
10 minutes to go, and 10 minutes to go to a 4-2 record overall. The Wampus Cats lead 38-0. And it has been another outstanding performance tonight by Conway. Looking forward next week at Little Rock McClellan. Then we're home for a couple of games against Little Rock Hall and Mountain Home. And then on the road to end the season November 1st, a Thursday night game at War Memorial Stadium. And wouldn't it be great to have about 10 or 15,000 Wampus Cat fans to help put a lot of people in the seats at War Memorial to see Conway take on Catholic to end the season. Handoff to McFadden. And across the 10, right at the 10-yard line. 10 or 15,000 maybe overstepping it a little bit, but with the way this team goes, there's a lot of room on a bandwagon.
Absolutely.
And if you live in this community and haven't really paid attention to this football team, it's time to start paying attention. This is a legitimate contender for a state championship this year.
It's just a fun team to watch. If you love watching good football, come out and watch Conway play.
You'll have your next chance at home in a couple of weeks. Again, this next Friday night at Little Rock McClellan. Cox with the handoff to the second back around right side. That's 27, Brian Burton. Not much of a gain there. You see Joseph Gray helping his teammate up on the right side. And it looks like B.J. Moody is the right guard. I've been trying to see who that is on the right side of Jake Cummins, 62.
I think you're right.
I think it is 62, B.J. Moody. Try to get these players mentioned as they come in. Give them their credit, definitely. Handoff to Burton up the middle. Not much room, down to about the 8-yard line. And North Little Rock will take over. Conway leads big, 38-0. It's Conway Corporation, Channel 81.
remember it like it was yesterday. Bobby said he needed a haircut, and I was only trying to help. While Mom was in the kitchen, I slipped in the bathroom and got my dad's clippers. And well, the rest is history. I guess some things are better left to the professionals.
Not all lessons have to be learned the hard way. Get the most from your advertising budget. Advertise on Conway Corporation Cable. Call 450-6025.
Bank. Let us lend you our strength.
Steve Sullivan here for John Walters Chevrolet. Check out the all-new Chevy Avalanche. It's part SUV, it's part full-size pickup. The Avalanche is the only vehicle that can go from 6-passenger SUV to 3-passenger full-size truck with protected cargo bed in less than a minute. With the exclusive midgate, the Avalanche is the ultimate utility vehicle. Room to play, power to work. So come and see the 2002 Avalanche from the family of Chevy trucks here at Walters Chevrolet in Conway.
8:44 to go in the fourth quarter. On our way to another victory for your Wampus Cats. 38-0 is the score. LaFear throws left side. It's incomplete. Before the clock can even hardly get started, it stops again. 8:42 in this fourth quarter. Get some of these other defensive players that are in. Number 10, Anthony Cox, the start of the second-string quarterback now, is also on the field in the defensive secondary. So number 30, Ryan DeRoke, also on the field. 88, Chris Tyler's in. Long pass downfield from LaFear into traffic, and it's bobbled and knocked away. Defensively there, number 21, Lewis Pike.
Looks like a pretty good pass.
It was a pretty good pass.
It's not a pretty pass, but it's in his hands.
Looks like Seth Irons was also in there. Seth making a big hit on the intended receiver. Third down now for North Little Rock. They've been in the shotgun formation most of the night. It hasn't led to any points so far. LaFear slips in the end zone, now throws. Kind of slings the football when he throws it. Pass is intended for number 5, that's Bobby Knight. Joseph Gray and Ryan DeRoke on the coverage. And it'll be fourth down, and they'll have to give the ball back over to Conway, which is not what they want to do, but I think right now they just want the clock to run out and they can get back on the bus and make the trip back to North Little Rock.
I'm sure they would love to have some success, going into next week's game, but they're just not seeing anything happening right for them right now.
Next week, North Little Rock will play host to Catholic at North Little Rock High School Stadium. Kicked by Ross Lloyd, bounces at the 40 and across midfield. Good job by Anthony Cox there to just walk away from it. Conway takes over, 1st and 10. It's 38-0. The Wampus Cats have the big lead.
Hi, Steve Sullivan for John Walters Chevrolet. We take pride in community involvement here at Conway. So John Walters is helping sponsor the Terry Don West Bull Riding Challenge on October 20th at 8 o'clock right here at the Don Owen Arena. This is your chance to meet bull riding great Terry Don West and watch local talent perform. And don't forget about the great deals going on now on Chevy trucks at John Walters Chevrolet, Highway 64 East in Conway. Hey, these seats are empty now, but on October 20th, they'll be full of rodeo fans. Why don't you be one of them?
Every mountain, on every stream, follow every rainbow till you.
Now, get a Warren winch with select Yamaha ATVs during Yamaha All-Terrain Value Days.
Looking for a great pair of shoes? Dryer Shoes of Conway has all the latest styles and fashions. Whether it's sports, casual, children's, or ladies' dress shoes, we have a large supply to choose from. With selections from Adidas, Reebok, Nike, New Balance, Bourne, Mia, 9 West, Nicole, and many more, you're sure to find a shoe that's just right for you. And if we don't have it, we'll special order at no extra charge. Come visit Dryers, the family shoe store, in the Conway Town Center off Highway 65 North.
8:16 to play in the ballgame, 38-0. Conway has the lead and will be at the line of scrimmage in a moment. Even in a blowout, the band sounds good, don't they, Jim?
They sure do.
And those young ladies, I'm going to find out right now. Cheer or pom-poms? I'm looking into the program. That doesn't help me. There's the pom-pom squad. And they're the cheerleaders. Well, they both do a great job. And there's the official. I don't know. We got to ask somebody. I'd ask Coach Smith, but I don't know.
I don't know if he would know either.
He may not. I don't know. It's hard to tell. We're just a couple of guys. 8:16 to play. We're back to action now, finally. 1st and 10. Handoff and a fumble on the play, but a nice job. Right man at the right time there, number 46. Whitney Thompson picks up the fumble.
Everything going Conway's way.
Definitely. Number 26, Kendall Carter on the run. And the fumble was picked up by Thompson. Ball's at the 39-yard line, 2nd down. And just so no one mistakes us, we are certainly not having fun at the expense of the cheerleaders or pom-pom squads at all. We're just guys who've never been in either one of those squads, so don't know what the difference is. Can't tell just by watching. Up to the 44-yard line. 3rd down now for Conway, and I would hope that if someone's out there that does know, if you'll let us know, you can just send a note to Conway Corporation. Holding against Conway. Send a note to the Conway Corporation, folks. Attention, Stone Productions. We'll find out who is who, and I'd like to know.
I would wonder, if we could get numbers on them.
like with a team.
Right. The higher numbers are, maybe your offensive linemen, and then your lower numbers.
Right, so you could tell. So
quarterbacks, we could do the same thing.
In the teens would be like cheerleaders, and in the 20s would be the pom-poms, or however they would break it up, and that way you could tell. I don't know.
And that way we would know the individual cheerleaders.
That's true too. We could call them by name. You could tell it's a blowout, can't you? 38-0. Anthony Cox has it. Nice run on the bootleg to the right side. The second-string quarterback, Anthony Cox, there with a nice run for the Conway Wampus Cats. It is 38-0. Clock stops at 6:57 as Anthony goes out of bounds. And you know that the guys are having a great time. The team is playing well. They're coming together. They know that they can play with and beat anybody in the state. They've beat Cabot. They've beaten Little Rock Central. A couple of tough road losses. They've got to feel confident about themselves.
They're very confident, and they're seeing their second team shut down North Little Rock offensively, defensively.
Cox rolls left side. Still has the football across the 40. The 45 down to the 47-yard line. He takes a couple of big hits there. But Anthony Cox, good-looking kid. Nice smile there.
Getting some positive
yards.
yards.
Run. And you're right, Jim. Good positive yards on that. Took a big pop, too. And 4th down will be a punting down here as Blake Reagan comes on to punt the ball away. 6:47 to go in the 4th and final quarter of a 38-0 blowout at this point for the Wampus Cats. Again, next week at Little Rock McClellan, and then back home against Little Rock Hall and Mountain Home back-to-back weeks before being on the road against Little Rock Catholic. Ball is down at the 37, at the 17, where North Little Rock will take over 1st and 10. Conway's got the big play.
Larry Oakes is a contractor. Every day, he depends on people doing their jobs right the first time. That's why he buys his vehicles from Jody Brown Motors. He knows he can depend on quality and the finest service around. Folks who do it right the first time.
I like Jody Brown Motors, especially their service department, which means a lot to me after the sale of the vehicle.
Come on down to Jody Brown Motors in Conway.
It was the closest game I'd ever played in. We were losing by 1, had 2 outs, and a man on third. Then this happened. And yes, I've worn a belt ever since.
Not all lessons have to be learned the hard way. Get the most from your advertising budget. Advertise on Conway Corporation Cable. Call 450-6025.
Here we are at Smith Ford Mercury in Conway, the oldest Ford dealer west of the Mississippi. They'll treat you like family, and they're big supporters of all the Faulkner County football programs, including the Bears and the Wampus Cats. The 2001s are here at great prices, like this new 2001 Taurus at deep discounts. The 2002s are rolling in. The financing has never been better. Smith Ford Mercury in Conway with a complete line of Mercurys and Fords. All the SUVs and vans and trucks are here at Smith Ford Mercury in Conway.
Welcome back. John McConnell Stadium, 6:39 to play in the ball game. The first team offense still in there for North Little Rock. Again, they just don't have the depth they have in years past, and the first team are still out there playing. Nice pass from quarterback William LaFear to Nick Copeland. He's taken down at the 30-yard line. Billy McIntyre on the stop. Pass was good for a first down. And the clock starts, and it will run down. Long pass from LaFear. It's intended for and caught by Marcus Foley.
Is he out of bounds? Oh.
No, going to give it to him. Nice pass.
He got a foot down. Good job. Yeah.
Pass thrown right over the two defenders there, and that was a really nice pass by William LaFear.
Outstanding catch. Twisting backwards and getting a foot down and still managing to hold on to the ball.
First and 10 at the 39-yard line. A couple of good plays there by North Little Rock against this Wampus Cat defense. This is kind of what we saw a week ago. LaFear passing, and again, caught at the 20-yard line, that time by Patrick Dorse. Anthony Cox on the stop. Pass good for a first down. And Jim, this is real close to what we saw a week ago against Little Rock Parkview, where the defense played so well, and then in the fourth quarter late, one drive by the offense, still the starters against the second-team defense, led to 7 points. The only 7 points scored a week ago against Conway. And you know the second-team defense does not want to give up any points this game.
Absolutely not. It means as much to them as it does first team.
LaFear back to pass. He's got time, throws. Pass is tipped and picked off. Great job. Who got the pick there? That is
21 nearly had it. He tipped it up, and who got it, Jeff?
Number 14, that's Matt Fiddler.
Great job.
Tipped by number 21, Lewis Pike, and then Fiddler came down with it. Outstanding. And the second team defense does its job, and they will take over. You notice that Lee Hammers, just a great kid. Lee is 6'1", 180. Took a foot off of him there. Lee is 6'1", 180, a senior. And really the leader, if you will be, of that second team defense. Just does a great job in practice and was really pumping them up there and telling them, let's go, let's don't let them score like they did a week ago. Got the big turnover, and the ball's back to Conway. Whitney Thompson on the carry there. Across the 15-yard line, second down. And this is what Wampus Cat fans want to see now. 5:15 to go, the clock runs, and they just want to see that clock run, hold on to the football, and get this victory, and go back in that beautiful field house and get prepared for next week.
And that's got to be so frustrating for North Little Rock. They were moving the ball, looking good, and then to have that turnover.
McFadden in motion. He gets the handoff. Sam is met and dropped by about 3 charging Wildcats. Third down. Again, elsewhere in the 5A Central tonight, Little Rock Parkview is at Catholic, Mountain Home at Central, and McClellan at Hall. Again, next week, McClellan is the opponent for Conway. Catholic will be at North Little Rock to take on this Charging Wildcat team. Central and Parkview hook up, and Hall plays at Mountain Home. They make the very long trip up into the Ozarks to take on Mountain Home. That is definitely a break this year for Conway as they do home and home. And this year, they Wampus Cats went up to make that trip as Mountain Home will be coming to Conway. Anthony Cox takes the ball and moves forward across the 20, close to the 20-yard line anyway. He'll be close to a first down. I think we're going to stop the clock and measure.
Oh, they're going to call it a first down.
It is good for a first down. So first and 10, the clock will start back up, and it'll run 4 minutes and counting. Looks like they're not going to come back into the game, so it's safe to go ahead and finalize these stats for Peyton Hillis and John Duhart, Scott Coulter, and Dennis Jones, all the starters. Peyton with 15 carries, 116 yards, and 2 touchdowns. There's Sam McFadden across the 20.
Good job by McFadden.
Great job holding on to the football and fighting his way forward. Took a couple of big hits to bring him down.
Watch him spin here in traffic. Oh, yeah. Good
Kept
job.
his balance?
Yeah. He had a little assist with that spin, but still managed to keep his feet.
Whoa, my goodness.
And our producer throwing in some dance moves here for him.
Hurricane McFadden. That was amazing. Bet you Sam could get a date or two with those dance moves. 3 minutes to play. Things are getting kind of jumpy now.
And you were talking about the stats, Jeff?
Yeah, the stats. Where were we at? Football stats. Not the dance stats. Peyton Hillis, 15 carries for 116 yards and 2 touchdowns. John Duhart, 10 carries for 104 yards, over 10 yards a carry, and a touchdown for Duhart as well. That makes the 3rd straight game that Hillis and Duhart have both rushed for over 100 yards in the backfield. Amazing. Scott Coulter, 5 carries for 39 yards. Dennis Jones, 3 carries for 14 yards. 4 starters in the backfield. Just a great job. Enough up the middle, and looks like a scrum in rugby there. Some Australian rules football, maybe. Something you see on ESPN late at night.
Good call, Jeff.
Thanks. Whitney Thompson is the man with the football in the middle of all that. Passing wise, another great job by Dennis Jones tonight. 6 for 8, 95 yards and a touchdown. Receiving, John Deere had a John Deere. He makes tractors. He didn't play in the game. Jason Deere had one catch for 12 yards. Scott Coulter 2 for 38 yards. Chad Stewart had a catch for 19. Peyton had a catch for 12 yards. Duhart had 1 catch for 14 yards, and a touchdown through the air for Duhart. Punt by Reagan down to the 48-yard line. It's kicked out of bounds, but it'll still be in the possession of North Little Rock. They'll take over. Big hit there by Joe Morgan on special teams. 38-0, Conway leads.
There's an expression in the automobile business that says the salesperson helps the customer buy the first car, but it's up to the service department to sell the next one. It's true. Our salespeople and service advisors are committed to your satisfaction. United Motor Company is confident that you'll be as satisfied with your sales and service experience as you are with your new vehicle. It's more than a promise, it's a 5-star guarantee. We're your friendly Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep dealer. United Motor Company, I-40, exit 129 in Conway.
Can a bank help you catch the next big wave? It can if it has the right balance. With RegionsNet, you get the speed and flexibility of an internet bank, but you also get the convenience and personal service of over 800 Regions locations across the South. Internet banking with face-to-face service, clicks and bricks. Regions Bank. It's the next big wave in banking.
Your home is a special place. You work hard to give it those special touches that make it your own, and your floor covering should be just as special. Since 1954, 3 generations of the Imboden family have been providing Conway with the very finest in floor coverings. With brands from Mohawk, Anderson, Pergo, and many more, Imboden Carpets has just the floor covering to give your home that special look and feel. Come by our showroom today or give us a call. Let Imboden Carpets take your floors from the ordinary to the extraordinary.
We've got 93 seconds of football left, and 1st and 10, North Little Rock takes over. William LaFear back to pass, throws left. Catch made by Nick Copeland, and he carries the football up to the 42-yard line. 2nd down, North Little Rock continues on their drive. And Jim, I'll ask you a tough question because I don't know if there's an answer to this. If you could work on anything out of this game, what would you work on? Anything you'd improve on, I guess, is the harder way to ask it.
That is a tough question. I don't know if I have an answer.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know that there's anything. I'm sure the coaches could break down the film and see things much clearer than we do, but just from our seat, there hasn't been anything that hasn't gone right tonight.
I'm hard pressed to come up with anything. It's just overall, just solid performance, both sides of the ball, special teams as well.
Offensive and defensive lines just absolutely dominated tonight. Maybe a few penalties. There's one there that will go against the Wampus Cats that the coach can't be happy about.
You know, one thing, you don't get to see a lot of passes, especially when we get up and we're running the ball successfully. You won't see many passes, and there are going to be some situations where we're going to have to pass in the future. So, but when we have had to pass, we've done it successfully. We've talked about Dennis Jones, how well he's played.
Joseph Gray and Ryan DeRoke on the stop there on the completed pass. But you're right, Dennis went 6 of 8 tonight. So, yeah, I guess he could have gotten another 2. So, way to go, Dennis.
I didn't say he hadn't been effective. I'm just saying that he hasn't been tested very hard.
And you're right.
Where he was called on to lead the offense.
It hasn't been a situation where he's had to come bring the team back by throwing the ball. Nice tackle there made by number 36. That's Chris Toller. Chris Toller, the first time we've called his name. A great job by the junior. 5'10", 130, a junior, number 36, Chris Toller.
And since Russellville, this defense hasn't been extremely tested, you know, by a good passing quarterback. But, well, there's just nothing.
Yeah, I don't think there is. I mean, good job. Nice job by Ryan DeRoke.
Pretty good coverage there.
Great coverage. And there are. Everything's clicking. Everything is in place. And, you know, coach has got to be pleased. I'm sure the team's practicing well. They're obviously playing very well. There's a tremendous amount of confidence right now and just enough swagger. It's just enough that you want to see. It's not cockiness, but it's extreme confidence that they know when they get between the sidelines, there's some interesting coverage of that pass play that was incomplete. Clock stops with 14 seconds to go. But they know that when they get on the field, they can play with and can beat anybody, and they're feeling that way. Next week, they will be tested against Little Rock McClellan. How this team performs next week on the road against a good football team will give us an idea of how well they can do when it gets to playoff time.
That's right, and I think that's going to be the true test, is when they get in a situation where maybe they're behind in the second half. Do they start questioning themselves?
LaFear back to pass, throws into the end zone, and it is knocked away. And the shutout is preserved for the moment. 38-0, 4th down coming up, 7 seconds to play. One more chance, it looks like, for North Little Rock to get on the board, and a chance for the Wampus Cat defense, first and second team, to get a shutout. And you know that this defense wants nothing more than to get that shutout. The victory is in hand. The Wampus Cats will move to 3-0 in conference play, 4-2 overall at the end of this play. LaFear looks, nowhere to go. Now he's going to run it. Who wants to bring him down? Somebody. Still on his feet, and he is ridden out of bounds by half the Wampus Cat defense, and that's going to do it. A shutout for the defense tonight, 38-0, and it has been now 9 quarters of football.
Wow.
9 quarters of football since the starting defense has given up a point. 7 points last week scored against the second team. No points scored tonight, period. 38-0, the final score and then fourth quarter shutout against Little Rock Central. 9 quarters of football, this defense has played outstanding, and the offense is just as strong. Jim, what more can you say? There's not a whole lot more you can.
Guard against overconfidence. That's the only thing. You would be tempted to say Conway just take the week off. You deserved it, but yeah, they've got to keep practicing hard. They got to keep the mental aspect and perspective of where they are and what got them here, and then that's just playing hard ever down.
Right. And I just don't see a team like this, any team under Coach Kenny Smith, getting overconfident. He's going to keep this team focused and keep them practicing hard and playing hard throughout the rest of this season. A great win tonight, 38-0. Again, highlights statistically. Again, both Peyton Hillis and John Newhart over 100 yards rushing for the third consecutive game. Good job by Dennis Jones through the air, 6 of 8 for 95 yards and a touchdown, and just a solid effort. Don't forget Lance Wilcox, a 42-yard field goal that was connected tonight. That could be a huge difference later on in the season when you know you need 3 points, and once you get down inside the 30, you're inside scoring range at that point.
Absolutely.
Great game tonight, 38-0. Conway gets the victory over North Little Rock next week at Little Rock McClellan. For Jim Files, I'm Jeff Matthews. Conway Corporation Channel 81 with the broadcast. Thanks to Stone Productions in Conway for the facilities. See you next week.